Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hey, guess what time it is?
Riot time!
It is riot time. How about a scream? Hey, good afternoon, everyone. And hey, football players, eat your hearts out, okay, guys? But hey, this is Mooch Davis along with Mike Bryant, and here we are again at Martin Memorial Field for, you know what, season number 2. And Mike, it's playoffs. Hard to believe it's playoff season already. Riot's coming in at number 2, facing a very tough Edward Little squad, and we're no stranger to them in regular season or playoffs. And tell us a little bit about where they were at against Edward Little last time we played.
And you're right. There are no easy games here. But first of all, let's recognize that we're here to watch a game of some really good athletes. But we got some pretty good athletes all around us here. We thank you girls for joining us today. South Poland has got a big game here today. Edward Little played us tough the last time. It's almost a dead-even match between these two teams. And I think today you're going to see defense is going to be a deciding factor, obviously. But offense, it's going to be how these two teams can move the ball against each other. And last game, it was scary.
We know that we can move the ball. We've done it all year. And last week was just an excellent tune-up game. The Riots, I mean, they just brought their A game last week, offensively, defensively, just probably, I think, Mike, probably the most stable performance and solid all the way around. So they're pretty fired up and ready to go. And, hey, you take the last game, you take away those 2 high snaps from center on the punt, we got a very close ball game. And we know that Lambert's excellent. He's a big-time quarterback. We faced one last week, you know, in, can't even think of his name.
Quentin
Porter, just a fantastic quarterback. And Brian Lambert is another great quarterback. So we've got our work cut out for us today. But the Riots just had an excellent week of preparation. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. I got a chance to take in a couple practices. But they're fired up. They're ready to go. And like the sportscaster last night on Channel 6, Bruce Glazier said, hey, I wouldn't want to bet against John Wolfgram when it comes to playoff time. And it may come down to coaching. If it does, what do you think about that?
Well, I give my hats off to Coach Wolfgram, too. He does know how to prepare his games. He makes some of the best adjustments I've ever seen of any coach at halftime, especially when things aren't going maybe quite the way you want them. So, yeah, we'll give the nod to him. We've got some great games going on all around us today. We'll talk a little more of that when we get upstairs. But we got some girls here that got a few things to say to us, Mooch. So go ahead.
Hey, girls, what do y'all like the best about football season? What's so fun about this? Okay, moms at home, y'all didn't hear that. Guys in spandex thing. Who's what are you, co-captains, tri-captains? What's your name?
Tri-captain. Michelle.
Michelle?
Tracy. Melanie.
Melanie, who we got down the middle, down the front here?
Kayla Bernier.
Kayla Bernier. They really like watching the guys practice and all that kind of thing. And do you guys have a favorite ball player? Frank Vickerson. I think I heard someone say Ryan Sprague earlier too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Matt Orlando. Matt Orlando. Okay, what's in this group here, how many freshmen we got?
3.
3 freshmen, sophomores. How many sophomores?
Like
4 or 5. Okay. Tell me about Spirit Week. How was that? Spirit Week, you had it, right? A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. Who won?
Seniors.
Seniors won. Didn't you win last year's juniors as well? Okay, great. Well, that's good. So this is kind of cool. Anyone have anything they want to say? Well, do you like football? Do you understand it? Yeah, you love football? Everyone asks you what's going on? And you said, I don't even like hockey. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? South Portland, the spirit is high here. They're excited. And it's just another great day for football. So, Mike, hopefully we can chalk one up and go on to next week and go into the semifinals. Pretty confident we can do that. So let's go have a blast today. Hey, what time is it?
Riot time!
Woo! Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to playoff football here at South Portland High School as your Red Riots begin season number 2. Mike, Phil, going into the playoffs against a very stubborn, very strong, very solid Edward Little football team. Hard to believe that it's playoff time again, guys, but here we are. Seems like 2 a days just starting. This is Mooch Davis along with Mike Bryan and Phil Stroud back here bringing you Red Riot football. Hey, guys, what do you think?
Well, it seems like we were doing this 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Great football game. And like you said, we're at the second season, so what happened 2 weeks ago, they got to come right back and do it again. Good schoolboy football.
It doesn't matter what happened 2 weeks ago either. It doesn't count now.
Not
Today's today.
The other thing we're going to have out here, we're going to have a big battle. I think every game really now in the playoffs is going to be a big battle because all the teams are so strong this year, and they've all played very well. All these top teams have all played each other, and they're responsible for each other's losses.
Yep.
It's good to see that. It's good to see this rivalry here. Last year was a great game in the playoffs. This year, plus in this regular season, they beat us up there in Edward Little. We went back up, took the game home in a close one. It was awesome. Again, another close one 2 weeks ago here at South Portland for this year. And then there's also the mini drama going on here in the booth, folks. I just thought to make you aware if you hear some slapping. The flies are attacking us because the weather is wonderful.
What is up with that? That's because it's still warm in October.
Yeah.
But, hey, as one of my Yankee friends, Yogi Berra, would say, it's deja vu all over again. These two teams are not strangers to each other. Regular season and a playoffs, like you just said, Mike. Excellent, exciting football game last year in the quarterfinals, I believe it was. No, semifinals up in Edward Little, and then of course, hey guys, Phil, you take away those two high snaps from center. We had us a pretty good ball game last night.
The first half was closer than what the score showed last week. A couple of misplays on Edward Little, got to the quarterback a little bit. It's going to be interesting. This first quarter is very important for both teams.
It is. You know, you got a few butterflies because the regular season's all over. And there was always, in the regular season, there's always next week. But for one of these two teams,
right.
Next week will come, but one of these two teams won't be wearing their pads.
One of the things I was thinking a little earlier is we got some seniors out there from one of these clubs will never be playing again after today. And they're going to be putting a lot more into it. We don't have a whole list of seniors from both sides. But they're in it. They're in it for their last time. One of these groups of seniors go home today, and their schoolboy football careers are over. So it adds a little bit of drama to it.
Sure does.
Well, the game last 2 weeks ago, like you said, Phil, was intense enough, but today the intensity is going to be even higher.
Right.
And that's right. The stakes are a little higher here. You go home, no more games after today if you don't win this one.
It's true. I just, before I came up, I talked to Josh Marr, who was a great contributor to South Poland football for the last 2 years. Had a great junior, senior year, and he's up at Maine. And we were just saying, hey, I was talking about the football up there, and he said, man, those guys are big. He's not playing up there, but they're big guys, they're fast, and all that kind of thing, and it's a whole different level of football. And we did just talk about that. We just said, hey, you know what? When that ended last year, that's it. Unless you go on to play football somewhere, it's all over, and you never put the pads on again. And he and I were standing there, and he's like, man, I just feel like I want to be out there and should be out there. And I told him, I said, I got news for you. It never goes away. It's been 22 years since I played, but it never goes away. That desire to play and compete, it's always there,
The only desire I get to go down and compete is when I see some of the holes the offensive line opens up, and I know I could run through them. And then I wish I was right there.
You and Phil could hold hands and go through some of those, especially the ones they developed last week. South Portland finishing the season at 7-1 is number 2, and they're taking on number 7 Edward Little. And I'll tell you what, what's exciting about the playoffs right now, guys? Is the 8 teams that are in the playoffs. It's close. Anything can happen anywhere today.
Right.
South Portland the past couple years, actually the past 3 years, have really, apart from the Edward Little game last year, they pretty much, Mike, have waltzed through the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Had their way with teams and had their hearts broken in the Western Maine final the past couple years. But this year, guys, anything can happen.
Right. You got a number of strong teams that are coming right from 1 through 6, 1 through 7. And we'll know a lot better after today with the other games going on. Deering and Sanford are playing today. What else we got on tap?
You got Deering and Sanford is at Sanford. Cheverus is at Biddeford. That I think is going to be a good game right there. Cheverus got a chance to upset Biddeford.
You know what? I think Cheverus can beat Biddeford today. I really think that they can. They're playing well. And the thing about the playoffs, what's exciting is it's obviously the positioning of where you're going to be at the end of the year is very important. But what's more important is how well you're playing going into the playoffs. If you peak during the playoffs, you can be a 3-5 team like Portland's number 8. They're 3-5. But if they get gelling, anything can happen on a given day, and it's pretty exciting to see what could happen.
And you and I talked a little bit. We've got to win this game today, but we're looking at a home game next week if we can win today. And I'd like to see it be Biddeford, but I'm not so sure that Cheverus isn't going to take them today.
I think Cheverus can beat them. I really do. So we'll get right back to that as we enjoy the national anthem.
Bob Jerry, timer, Greg Dahl. The draw now please rise for the playing of the national anthem.
Okay, it's another exciting football week here at South Portland. Seems strange playing in the daytime now, but that's part of it. You can tell it's playoff football season as we gather here on a Saturday. A pretty good crowd looks like so far. Overcast skies a little bit, kind of warm. Excellent football weather.
Was it a couple of years ago when we were here for playoffs with Noble? We had to the field had to be plowed and shoveled off, and that was one cold day. I'd take a playoff day like today anytime.
That was not funny, but this is excellent out there. Riots are going to receive the kickoff, it appears anyways. I do believe they won the toss, didn't they, guys?
I think so, and they're going to go, yep, they got the receiving teams going out.
Okay, we did defer to the second half.
Take that back, we're kicking off.
That's interesting. That just shows you how much confidence Coach Wolfgram has in his defense. And I got to tell you, last week we shut Portland out for what? Well, that was our 5th shutout, I think it was.
Yep.
5th shutout of the year. And Mike, defensively, they were just so strong last week and probably played about as solid of a football game all around, but defensively, they were just spectacular.
Quentin Porter, who I think is probably the best high school quarterback in the league right now, really is a danger, and I expected them to put some points up against us, but boy, that defense just played well. They gave him a little bit of ground on times, but in the end, they just stopped it cold every time they got close.
He was a big-time quarterback, and here we are, guys. We're seconds away from the first playoff game, the quarterfinals, and Davini's going to kick from the 40, and it's a good kick.
Nice.
Ball's taken by Therian, I believe, at the 10-yard line. He's going to go up the left side, and he's not going to get a whole lot of running room as he's brought down by a host of tacklers. Davini, the kicker, in to help clean up, along with number 38, that looks like, for the Riots.
Stan Palmer took that.
That was DJ Tangway that actually made the tackle with a lot of help from a lot of other guys.
Okay, the Riots defense seeing their first action here today. Game just underway as your number 2 Red Riots take on the number 7 Edward Little Red Eddies down from Auburn.
You know, that's one of the things I've seen Davini in the last 2 or 3 games is really starting to get his range on his kickoffs, and that's important today against a team like Edward Little who can chew up the field offensively. You got to make them start deep.
I saw Davini last night down at Shaw's, and he had 2 loaves of bread. He was drop kicking up and down the aisle, so he's all excited and ready to go. So here we go. Lambert, the big quarterback. We've got an end split way to the left. Here's a handoff to Therian off the left side, and he's met right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you got Mike LeCon gets in there. Looks like it's Bobo was the first one to make the hit.
Dickey and LeCon and Bobo in on the tackle. Starting lineup for the Riots. Again, Matt Ferrani, who we've lost him for the rest of the season due to a knee injury. He's very, very sad, but he's out for the rest of the season. We've got, it looks like Big Pat Lyons again, a tailback converted nose guards in the middle. We'll get to the rest of the starting lineup just a second. Again, the quarterback is Lambert, I formation. Here's a handoff to Therian again on the left side.
Guess who? We just talked about him.
Pat Lyons, great tackle. Sophomore, he's a big boy. You don't got the numbers on him, but doing a good job in the middle.
Pat Lyons looked like he took about a quarter and a half last week to really kind of get his nose to him there at the nose guard position, so to speak. But then he just played terrific all game long, and looks like today he's ready.
Looks like we got Robbie D is in at one defensive end, and the tackles are Bo Vozine and Art Dickey, along with Matt Jones sneaking in and out. And the other defensive end is Joe Heslop, who's done a great job. 3rd and 10. Riots defense very stingy so far. Here's Lambert back to pass. It's a good pass down the left side, and he's got a receiver open out there. Number 11 for Edward Little. Scott Demers making the catch just at midfield. Edward Little on the move.
Dan Sears making the tackle there. Gave him a little more room probably than he should have. And Lambert had good time. There was good protection that time for Lambert as he was able to just set back there and let his receiver get into his spot.
Phil, you know, I think that's the only way Edward Little's really going to move the ball or have the ability to mix it up is by going to the pass early.
That's right. Notice starting off here, we got Stan Palmer in the backfield. Tommy Hunter's not in there. Number 30, one of the normal tailbacks.
1st and 10, Edward Little just at midfield. Here's a handoff to the fullback up the middle, and he goes nowhere.
I'll tell you what, that was Art Dickey. Yeah, Art Dickey just, he was the one that bunged it up and had him right by the legs the minute he tried to go across the line of scrimmage.
Mike LeCon and Rusty Rutherford at the linebackers, and in the defensive backfield, we got McCross and Sears and Orlando have done a great job against the big quarterback so far this year, guys.
So far, from what I see now, South Portland really keyed up for the run. I don't believe Edward Little's going to have a very good time, so it's going to be a key. Their passing attack is going to be key to keep them moving down the field today.
They've been stingy all fall long.
They got some big boys up front there. Here's a fake handoff by Lambert. Passing the flat to Terry, and he's got some running room. as he's going to get down to the 29-yard line of South Portland.
They got a little extracurricular.
Stan Palmer, number 34. I apologize. Stan Palmer out of the backfield.
Yep.
Real crucial for us to put some pressure on the quarterback. Last week we did a good job against Porter. Lambert's another good quarterback. I don't think he has the skills of a Porter, but he is an excellent quarterback. But we're going to have to put pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, Terry is out. Hunter's in, number 30.
Hunter's back into ball game. I think this is his first time in.
First series plays.
Edward Little, handoff does go to Hunter off the left side, and he's got some running room. So he's going to get down to almost the 20-yard line.
Yeah, pushed out there by Brandon McCrossan, who covering that side very well. Edward Little looks fired up too, but their passing attack, 2 big passing plays is all they've really had so far here today, Mooch. And that's what South Portland is going to have to stop. They're going to have to tighten up on the receivers.
Edward Little coming in with very few reserves over there on the sideline, but their offensive unit is fired up, excited. They want to advance. You know, they want to be one of the first teams to beat South Portland in the early stages of the playoff. Lambert's giving a little bit of direction out there to some of his ball players. 2nd and 2 from the 22-yard line. Number 88 comes in motion. I believe that's Starbird comes in motion. The handoff is going to go to Palmer again off the right side. Rusty Rutherford along with Ryan McLeod.
Yeah, Ryan McLeod really fought off his block, got him around the legs. Rusty just comes right in behind and helps finish him off. Again, South Portland seems to have the run nailed down, but boy, I'll tell you, 2 big pass plays have helped Edward Little just to get downfield big time as they're knocking on the door down by the 23-yard line of South Portland.
Field conditions are great. We've not had any rain substantial in the past couple weeks. The field's in great shape. The weather is spectacular. It's a great day for football. I formation, we've got ends split on both sides. Lambert drops straight back to pass. He's going to float it out there. He's got a receiver just slightly overthrown.
Yeah, Matt Orlando on coverage there. The receiver did have a half a step on him, but Matt right with him, step to step. Wouldn't have made any difference, though. If the ball fell in his hands, he was in the end zone.
They're definitely down there in the area of the 4 downs here, so we'll see another play coming up.
Oh, sure. Nothing.
What are they going to make?
There.
4 yards here for first down.
Yeah, it looks like they got 4. It's a long 4, as they would call it. Actually, it's 3, isn't it? 1,
Nothing
2,
to lose
3.
and everything to
3
gain
yards.
here.
That's right. That's right. Edward Little's confident in its defense. Riot's being tested here early. 8:49 left to play in the opening quarter. Here's a handoff to Terry off the right side. He's got some running room. He's got some running room, and he's brought down just by Dan Sears right at the 7-yard line as he prevents what looked to be a would-be touchdown, guys.
What a great desperation tackle by Dan Sears.
He hung on
as
there.
he really got a little bit behind number 43, but hung on and made sure he made the tackle.
You know, as that play developed, I thought they were going to get him. He definitely he saw an angle there that we couldn't even see from the booth here.
Yeah, it looked to me like they had to shut off too.
Yeah.
It did look like that they were closing that down rather quickly, but somehow he found a seam and broke to the outside and picked up the first down. Edward Little.
Mike Coates is one of the top backs in the league anyways.
Edward Little flexing some muscles here early as they got first and goal from the 7-yard line. I formation. Lambert's a big quarterback. Andy Sloat goes in motion. Here's a handoff to Palmer. Or was that Hunter?
I think it was Hunter, number 30.
Rusty Rutherford just nailed that play.
Rusty, he did. He was all over it. He almost took the handoff.
Ooh, injury.
The Sloat comes up, 88. He's limping.
Doesn't want to come out of the game. I'm all right, he says, just limping a little bit.
There's something we're seeing already in this first series is the tailbacks are in and out. Terrian and Hunter. Last time we saw him a couple weeks ago, those 2 were playing at the same time. This week we're seeing Stan Palmer stay right in there.
Yeah, they have gone to an eye rather than the formation.
Yeah, but we got left eye formation. Starbird split to the right. Lambert's a big quarterback. 2nd and 8. Here comes Sloat again in motion. Here's a handoff to Terrian off the right side, and he's going to go in the end zone for a touchdown. Edward Little.
Shots at him, but nice blocking that time for Edward Little.
Edward Little surprising everyone here as the Riots stopped him on the first 2 running plays, faced with a 3rd and long, and they pick up the first down and march the ball right down the field. Guys, that one looked easy.
When you're away from home, that's a good drive to get the confidence flowing for you.
Edward Little offense doing everything right, guys.
Again, we don't have statistics flowing in front of us off the computer screen, but I bet that's one of the first times this year that in the first series of play, South Portland's been scored on.
It definitely is the first time that someone has taken the ball the first series and driven it the length of the field. Kick is good. Edward Little, again, surprising everyone, taking a 7-0 lead against the South Portland Red Riots, and one thing we've been able to do, guys, all year long is bounce back.
Definitely.
And we're going to see how we got a little bit of a gut check and a heart check here early on.
Well, I'll tell you, way too early in the game to even worry too much about momentums and stuff like that. Edward Little certainly got the first surge here. But South Portland offense is going to be very, very important in this game from the looks of it, because they're going to have to try to help their defense stay out the field a little bit, march the ball down, score the points, get back into the game.
Yeah, it's definitely, we got a couple of teams here that come to play football. This is going to be a great afternoon with 7:35 to go in the first quarter. Edward Little will be kicking off to South Portland. Here we go. This is going to be, we're going to see some excitement here.
We are. Let's see if the Riots can answer the call. They've done it all year, and Edward Little certainly not intimidated by any means. Coming down here, upset-minded, if you will, and having their way up front. The offensive line just really manhandled the defensive front for South Portland that series, 70 yards.
They were almost kind of a play away 2 weeks ago from beating us.
They were,
and
exactly.
then late in the game, and then we got the ball back and scored one quick touchdown right at the very end of the game. But they were probably a play away as they were down in our territory with the fourth down. We stopped them and ended up going on and winning the game. But
again, as I mentioned, there's such parity right now, the top eight teams that are in the playoffs. And here's the kick. It's a great kick. It's going to be taken by Matt Tobias at the 10-yard line. He's going to come right up the middle. He's got a wall in front of him. He's got a huge hole.
what a move!
He gives a great move. And the Riots are going to start 1st and 10 right from the 50-yard line. Guys, that one was close to being tied up.
Carlton Dixon, the kicker for Edward Little, saved the day right there, folks, because Matt Tobias just blew through everybody as that wedge just opened up a tunnel right up the field in the middle.
Huge. Dixon staying home, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's waiting right there. That is the only thing that kept South Portland tying this thing up immediately.
And even then, Matt put a very nice move on and almost got by.
Red Riots offense touching the ball for the first time, just shy of midfield. Officials timeout. You got to take the tee off the field.
Now, Dixon was so tickled at making the tackle and saving the touchdown, so he forgot to pick up his tee.
Good eyes by the officials. 7:27 remaining, opening period. Riots down, 7-0. Wing T formation. Here's a handoff to Tobias. He's coming off the left side. Great block by LeConte.
Oh.
And there's a flag with a face mask by, looked like Hunter.
That's Hunter. That's Hunter that grabbed him by the face mask. And I'll tell you, Matt lowered his shoulder and leveled him. That's the only thing Hunter had to do, was grab him by the face mask.
That's big.
Well, that's going to give South Portland a first down right out the bat, right in their territory. And again, that's going to give South Portland now they're into 4-down territory down here. So they can really run whatever they want. And they got 4 plays each time to try to get that first down.
One of the things that hurt Edward Little last time we played was turnovers and penalties.
Definitely, especially in the first quarter. This is what teams don't want to do. They don't want to come out and give away any real estate whatsoever.
Especially to South Portland. We got twins right. Matt Tobias is the lone back. Matty Orlando's your quarterback. Here's the handoff to Tobias, and he's going to be met right at the line of scrimmage by a host of tacklers.
Yeah, he might have picked up a yard or so just on a little blood and guts there. And good push with the legs.
Riots offense, we got Frank Vickerson, the center, the big guy in the middle. The guards are Dickey and Mike LeConte. Tackles Matt Jones along with Nick Sobey, doing a great job this year. And then we've got Chris Deviney at one end, and guys, who we got at the right end? Is that Robbie D? Can't tell.
And he's probably going to be in and out, but I haven't seen him.
I think we got Ryan Maine in there at one end. Deviney is split to the left. T formation. Here's the handoff to Tobias off the left side. He gives a little bit of a fake and cuts inside, spins, picks up a couple yards just inside the 30.
What's his yardage at this point in the season?
Tobias went over 1,000 yards last week.
Last week, over 1,000 for the regular season.
Excuse me?
For the regular season.
For the regular season, over 1,000 yards. He had 201 yards last week against Portland. And what you mentioned earlier, Phil, the seniors, and Matt, of course, being a senior, and we got a core of seniors on the offensive line. And these guys don't want this to be their last day.
Right.
And Matt, he plays with such intensity. Ryan McLeod, it comes split left. We got Joe Lamb out to the right. Joe had a huge contribution last week, a couple catches. And here's Orlando rolling out the pass, looking to pass. He's going to hold it himself, hold on to it. And he's going to get back to maybe picks up a yard just over the line of scrimmage at about the 29-yard line.
We did have Lamb going out there on the right side, but I don't think that was designed for a pass at all. I think Lamb was going all the way on that play.
I think Joe Lamb, he was looking for Lamb. I think Lamb was trying to get in the corner of the end zone over there.
Well, he was covered well anyway, so Matt made a decision, made it quick, and he took off. Like you said, didn't pick up a whole heck of a lot of yardage, but South Portland with a chance for a 4th down play.
Big play here early for the Riots offenses. They're going to go for it. 4th and 4 from their own 27-yard line, 29-yard line. Davini split to the left, T formation. Orlando drops straight back. Here's a pass in the flat to Davini. He makes a move. Looks like he's going to pick up the first down.
That's first down. He's down to about the 15-yard line.
I tell you what, had Davini gone down where he caught the ball, it would have been really close to not get a first down. He made a nice move and just tried to squeak by his man to get that extra yard.
Big call already early here in the ball game. Riots going for it on 4th and 4 and come up with a first down. Great pass by Orlando. Just steps back.
Good, quick snap pass. Yes, definitely. Good to see the mix up here, because I think the Red Riots are going to have to pass the ball a little bit, mix it up here.
And the Riots, their passing game has really come alive the past couple of weeks. I formation. Hand off to, no, fumble. We got a fumble on the play.
That fumble was everywhere.
All right. Edward Little's going to come up with a ball as Rusty Rutherford didn't even look like he got the handle.
I don't think he got the handoff.
Looked like
the ball hit him in the upper shoulder pads almost on the handoff, and he just never got a hold
That's
of it.
that reversal that we get fooled on every time they pull it there.
I think that was a guard trap.
It was a guard trap.
Guard trap, and Rusty just did not have the handle. And Riots turning the ball over here, which unfortunately they've done a couple times this year, Mike, in the red zone where they've fumbled the ball and it's hurt us. Cost us the victory against Massabesic, and fumble here early. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Edward Little does.
We've got good ball players, and even good ball players make mistakes once in a while. Evidently, the Rusty come through. He might have slipped just a little bit, been a little lower than he thought he was when he got to Matt, and Matt just tried to put the ball where he normally was, and Rusty's shoulder pads were there instead.
Both offensive certainly asserting themselves early. Huge hole off the left side. Terrian's got lots of running room, and he's still on his feet. As he gets out to the 46-yard line of their own 46-yard line, Edward Little just having their way up front, guys, offensively.
That was a huge hole, and Ryan McLeod doing a nice job to actually get back into the play, because it looked like Therian was going to break it for a touchdown.
We knew Edward Little was a good football team, and I know that South Portland certainly is not looking past this one, guys, by any means. Can't afford to. But Edward Little, good football team, and everything's going their way today, so far anyways.
There's no gimmies in this in any of these series, I think, coming up. And South Portland, they know they're in a battle right now.
1st and 10, Edward Little at the 46-yard line, their own 46-yard line. Here's Lambert, handoff to Hunter off the left side. He's got some wheels, just like his brother. He's still on his feet, lots of running room. He is fast.
John Hunter on the run for the Red A's.
And Orlando finally takes him out. It's somewhere around the 38-yard line, 37-yard line of South Portland. And Edward Little is really doing a nice job getting outside on their runs.
4:08 remaining here in the first quarter. Edward Little offense just running all over the South Portland defense so far in the opening stanza of the first quarter, leading 7-0 and on the move again.
They did that at times. South Portland has to respect Lambert's arm, and so it's a little tough to concentrate on the running attack. But they've got a good running attack, I think.
High formation, Lambert drops straight back to pass. Here's the throw. It's out there. He's lofting it out there. He's overthrowing his receivers so far, guys.
Yeah, on the long stuff. He looks real good on the short stuff, but every time he's going long, he's really throwing it too far. Brandon McCrossin, by the way, he's got speed to burn there, and he was running step to step with the receiver.
Well, these Red Riots weren't 7-1 by accident this year. They've been tested, they've been pushed, but they haven't broke much. So it's actually good. You come out in the first quarter, they're going to know they're in a football game. They're it's just like anybody. You know you can't do it. You practice all week. You're ready to go into it. But this first quarter is
it's definitely a gut check already for the Riots. 2nd and 10. Here's a guard trap for Edward Little, and he's got lots of running room. Number 34. Is that 34? Is that Palmer?
Yeah, Stan Palmer.
And Brandon McCrossin makes a great tackle.
He's up. He's got a first down.
First down again.
Ball
Brandon McCrossin
about the 26-yard line.
Yep.
Edward Little, they're big up front, guys. Big linemen, and Palmer's a big running back.
I don't think we saw him run last week, a couple weeks ago, that I can remember.
And remember, you got just that one change now. We didn't see Pat Lyons play against Edward Little. He didn't start at nose, so he's got to make an adjustment himself, because right now they're kind of breaking a little right off guard there, right next to him.
Edward Little on the move here. For 1st and 10. Palmer again. Hunter with a carry this time. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard.
Yeah, we got everybody in on the tackle down there, but that's Art Dickey getting up. He's the one with the initial contact.
Art Dickey at the bottom of the pile. The guys are going to have to play tough right now. They're going to have to step up and be quick off the ball. They're going to have to beat the offensive lineman off the ball right now in order to stop this drive.
Well, Lambert hasn't even been touched yet so far in this game. He's gone back for 3-4 passes, hasn't been touched. The handoffs have been going well.
3:10 remaining in the first quarter. Edward Little leading 7-0.
Lambert again, back to pass. Here's the pass on the flat to Palmer. Got plenty of running room. He's going to get to the 10-yard lines. Palmer's doing it all right now, guys.
Yeah, Palmer having a good game, and again, Edward Little is mixing it up probably more so than we've seen teams mix it up this year, except maybe for Portland. South Portland does have to make some adjustments.
I don't know how they're going to mark this or whether they can get a first down or not, but I think this is
Goal to go almost. Huh?
First and goal.
South Portland. That's actually better. They've got
10 yards to defend.
10 yards. They're in or out with 4 plays.
Exactly. Riots in a hole, and they're in the 6-5 defense now. Here's a handoff to the fullback up the middle. He bounces out to the right side. Joey Heslop's holding him by the shirt. There's a huge hit by a lineman on Joe Heslop.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think it was Robbie D actually come in and hit him at the last, right at the end of it there, and when the ball popped out. But they're going to rule the forward progress and stop.
Yeah, forward progress takes him to about the 8-yard line.
Did you pick up his legs just pounding up and down as he met half that line?
He just wouldn't stop, and
His
Heslop,
legs were moved.
you know, we got Heslop at about 160 pounds, holding on to about 260.
Looks like South Portland's standing up a little mooch right now, and that's exactly what happens when you get strong runners and they're not getting tackled around the legs. You're getting stood up.
We need us a turnover, I formation. Lambert holds it, hands off to Hunter off the left side.
Oh,
It's a great tackle by Ryan
Saved
McLeod.
that touchdown.
Did save a touchdown. That wasn't a touchdown save.
There, there definitely was going to go in the end zone. So there, what do we got? Third down. How much they got?
Third and goal
about 2.5 yards to go.
from the 3-yard line.
Ryan McLeod, really quick. That was a great tackle. He
Great
made, 'cause
saving
he was actually
tackle.
Blocked, he was actually blocked off the game.
Big tackle. When they watch that game, they're going to know that saved us 6 points right there.
Riots.
Let's see if it holds.
Riots defense being challenged in a big way here as they've got 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. I formation. Here's a handoff to Tarian off the right side. That's close to getting in if he's not in.
Guess who again? Ryan McLeod, who just drilled him with a shoulder.
Ryan
After about a 1.5 yard gain, I think he's.
Boy, that is going to be. They can't get any closer.
They can't get any closer without being in.
Look at that, huh?
4th and goal inside the 1.
Huge gut check time right
Edward
here.
Little's going to be calling a timeout here, guys.
Of course, I think they need to think about what's going on here a little bit.
That's a good call by the Edward Little coach right there. You don't want to have the ball sitting 2 inches away and not have a clear idea what you're going to do. South Portland definitely is back on the heels right now. This is a monumentous. We can't tell really from this angle. About 3 inches out,
Maybe
4
three,
inches.
maybe 3 inches. With Lambert, the size that he is, all he has to do is kind of take one step forward. He can be in. But Riots looking to go down 13-0, 14-0 early here, guys, in the first quarter. That hasn't happened here in years. But long ways from being over.
Again, I don't think anybody gets concerned unless this continues. You've got to, eventually the defense does have to make a stop, and Edward Little's just playing good sound ball. I mean, they're clicking on all cylinders right now, and South Portland has got to put a stop to that.
Everything is going Edward Little's way right now. They're just doing a great job. It's not so much things are going their way. They're creating it. You know, they're just blocking well up front.
Yeah, that's right. They're making things happen.
Of course, this drive here is
Big play
is
right
a
here,
gift
guys.
from the fumble by the Riots. And they've driven the ball another 75 yards to be 4th and goal from 3 inches away. Big defense here. I think
South Portland, the only way to stop here is they've got to break through on a handoff. Lambert, if he does a quarterback sneak, it'll be tough to stop it.
It's going to be off the ball.
you watch Mike LeCon go right out over the center,
He's in.
and he's in.
Stan Palmer, they gave it to their fullback.
They did
Who
what
I
they
don't
needed
even
to
think
do.
touched the ball the last game, so
Yeah, I know.
definitely mixing it up here in the first half.
They did what they had to do there. South Portland had him stood up, but he's a strong kid, and he just kept moving and finally got himself through.
Wow, 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 guys. It's bounce back time, guys. Bounce back time, everyone. Time for the cheerleaders to get everyone going. Get the troops fired up. Here's the point after. Snap is good. And it's a good kick.
A good kick.
Yep. Edward Little, number 7, coming in at number 2 South Portland, taking a 14-0 lead. Hey guys, just like I mentioned at the beginning of the game, doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter if you're 7 or 2.
You got a good crop of football teams playing today.
Remember, Edward Little may show 5 and 3, but remember how close our game was, and they could have been 6 and 2. That's how close these teams are, I think.
You know, I said earlier, you know, there's 4 good football games going on today, and I said, you know, there could be some upsets. Let me qualify that. I didn't want it to happen here, but
well, we're still in the first quarter. We got 1 minute and 3 seconds to go. Actually, remembered back a couple of minutes ago, South Portland marched down the field. They were making their progress. So
They were
really
moving the ball well.
Yeah, you got a couple things. You got Pat Lyons, who actually I think is doing pretty good at the nose guard spot, filling in. But you also got Robbie D, who did really well early in the season, but then Sprague come back, was doing well. Now Robbie D's got to get back into it again, and they've been going out around his side a little bit too. So
we don't have any numbers with us, but how many plays has the offense actually played in this first quarter?
They ran
Probably
about
seven
plays.
7 offensive plays.
Right.
6 plays, 6 offensive plays.
Right.
Here's the kick. Again, it's a good end-over-end kick. Tobias taking it at about the 18-yard line. Again, coming right up the middle. Not as much running room this time as he did the first time, but
Tough to bring down.
Matt Tobias is tough to bring down, no doubt. He had an outstanding year. Senior tailback, outstanding year, going over 1,000 yards, 200 of them coming last week. And
Well, I'm encouraged by South Portland's ability to move the ball last drive, too. So I think they can score points. The problem is that they've really got to put every little back on their heels a little bit now.
we're going to have to make some adjustments definitely up front in order to shut that offensive unit down. They're big up front, both offensively and defensively. Here we go. Riots with the ball, 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. I formation. Here's a handout to Tobias off the left side. He cuts back into in towards traffic. He's going to pick up about 3 or 4 yards.
He took Scott Demers of Edward Little and just made Scott look silly.
Hang on and go for a ride.
Matt Tobias picking up 4 yards. 40 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Edward Little leading. It's surprising and shocking. South Portland at home, 14-0 so far here.
Well, you know, Matt Orlando, I think, is going to play a huge part in this game today, and only for the fact that we are going to have to go into the air a little bit because we're going to have to score some points.
Yeah.
We're down by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, we're going to definitely have to mix it up.
So we've got to make sure every drive we score is right.
Yeah, because I don't think we can just run Matt all day long today. Matt's in the slot. Here comes Brandon McCrossin off the left side. He's got some running room, and he's met by Hunter.
Well, he hasn't quite got the beat that Tobias has, and so he got stopped. But boy, I'll tell you, he hit that hole fast.
Hunter and Demers ride him out. The ball is marked on the 37-yard line.
Did you see how quickly Hunter was on him?
Yeah.
Because he had some running room there. He had a good hole.
Yeah, Hunter's quick.
And he picked up, maybe got a yard.
That's the end of the first quarter.
It is.
We got our teams changing ends, going to regroup with their coaches.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got the South Portland crew out there, a little bit of slumped shoulders and stuff, but that has nothing to do with how they're going to try to play this game. You know that the playoffs always build character, and right now South Portland's character is going to have to come right to the top.
Definitely going to have to step it up here. I think we played a little bit flat in that first quarter. You know, of course, a lot of it due to a great offensive showing by Edward Little, but we don't appear anyways right now to have the fire in us, and Coach Wolfgram's out there with the unit and giving them a pep talk.
You both have mentioned just winning the ball off the line. Edward Little. Let me read through these numbers again. I did this the last time they played. From their tackles, we go 260, 285, 250, 300, 260, 285, 240, and 270. That's a big front line for a high school football team.
That is big. That's a ton.
And I think we talked about it once before. We meet a lot of big teams, and it doesn't seem to make as big a difference till you get the playoffs when you've had a long season behind you.
But it's made a difference in that first quarter.
It's made a difference in that first quarter because
right
they pushed us all over the place.
It's almost like, you're right. You watch our defensive linemen. They're getting stood up a little bit, and they're making shoulder tackles instead of making leg tackles like they usually do.
Big play for the Riots here. 3rd down from their own 38-yard line. We've got twins right. The Vinny split. Far right, we got McCrossin in the slot, I formation. Orlando's going to roll to his left, look to pass immediately. He's going way downfield. He's got McCrossin out there. He's got him, and McCrossin's got some wheels.
Touchdown!
He's going to go all the way. Brandon McCrossin, who's got probably some of the fastest legs on the team, takes the ball after a beautiful pass by Orlando. Takes it about 63 yards,
65 yards.
65 yards for the touchdown. Woo! We need to get back into it.
Has got an arm.
Well, like we said, they'd only run about 9 offensive plays. So, you know, down 14-0, when you're only running 7 plays, you're not going to score. So now they put some points up there. Keeping the offense on the field is going to be important.
We got to get some spark here, and that certainly was it. That was a big play. Riots historically have the ability to make a big play. We're going to show it again. We're going to do a replay. That's what Al said, in
right
black and white. So for those of you at home,
well, let's move it a yard and a half closer.
We may see a switch here.
Those of you at home are going to watch it black and white. It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz in the very beginning. Then we'll get back to color.
We're going for 2 here.
Here's a pass by Orlando. It's a great ball McCrossan making a great catch. Of course, he's got wheels, outruns everybody into the end zone for, what'd you say, Phil, 65 yards?
65 yards. We got this could be a big play right here. We had offsides on Stan Palmer, jumped over the line, and Coach Wolfgram is sending the troops to go for 2.
He's going for the 2.
He did jump big time. I mean, that wasn't just
He got to
encouragement.
stick it early.
That was, he thought, I don't know if he thought the quarter had ended and they'd switching ends of the field again, but he was tiptoeing through the tulips.
McCrossan getting his congratulations as if he gets out of that pile down there with all the slaps, he'll be all right.
Bryant's going for 2 here early.
Tobias
Tobias is
is
in the end zone for a 2-point conversion. As you said, Phil, that's a big, big play.
Big
Now a touchdown
play.
ties it up.
And Orlando fired right up there, and he says, we're back, guys, we're back.
14-8 with 11:50 to go in the second quarter. We got a great football game. You almost had that sense starting out that this is going to be an afternoon that we're going to talk about with some real good football.
You're right about that, Phil.
This could be one for the ages, like we always say when it's one for the ages. But
Remember last year we had a shootout up there in Edward Little, and that was a great game right down to the last minute, and there were some good points scored there too.
guys, I'm feeling a little bit better now. The hands are still kind of sweaty.
Yeah, somebody said something about the shoulders drooping down on the field. I've seen a couple shoulders droop up here in the booth here.
Yeah, like what is up with that? I mean, I felt that way when Atlanta was ahead of the Yankees 5-1, but they came back. How about
We're
those
not going
Yankees?
there. We're going to stay with the football game.
How about those Yankees? Gotta love it. I was gonna wear my Yankee hat today too. I was gonna wear it.
It wouldn't have stayed on long.
Okay,
I
Red
don't know if
Riots.
you noticed, but you saw Yankees several times. This is the first time any of us responded.
Yeah.
In a negative way, though.
Yeah, right.
Well, guys, we mentioned, bounce back time and gut check, and we had to respond, and that was a big play.
Exactly what happened.
3rd and 7, and the Riots not only bounced back, but I mean they come up with a 65-yard touchdown, and we'll see what happens here as Davini kicks from the 40. It's a great kick.
Great kick.
Back to Hunter at the 4-yard line as he slips a bit. He's got some speed, but there's no. Wow.
Dude, wow was the name of that one.
That was Davini, right?
That's Davini.
That
Taking him head on.
That's a 15-yard penalty clip, I think, on Edward Little, but I'm not so sure that so much was a tackle as it was that Hunter ran over Davini that time, I think.
Well, Hunter lowered his head there, and what do we got, a clipping penalty called here? Or is,
And Chris hung on. Okay, this is a big play for the Riots defense right now as they're going to pin Edward Little back deep.
well, you know something? You like to see the Riots stay down on the field and shoot up some clock, but they really needed to get the points on the board.
We did immediately.
And now they've got to settle down. Make the
Momentum.
defense put the stops in.
Well, we've seen that both offenses are going to move the ball. This is, we could see some numbers racked up out there on the scoreboard.
If the defense is going to show up and hold and bring their A game, they need to bring it right now and stop Edward Little and hold him here and maintain the momentum.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think Edward Little's going to sit down and die right
Oh,
now.
certainly not. Certainly not. 1st and 10, Edward Little back in the depot, I formation, and there's some jumping up front
and
there.
moving there,
Terrian's-
huh?
He's
I
bulldogged
don't see a
by,
flag on the field.
I don't see any flags, but you're right.
I
There's
think
a lot
we
of
all saw
movement.
quite a bit of movement, though.
Rusty Rutherford in on the tackle, and he looked like he was trying to pin him once he got him down on the ground. But Terrian picks up 3 yards.
Therian's good back. I mean, they got Therian, Hunter, Palmer showing some stuff here today. I think the surprise was that South Poland probably wasn't keen too much on Palmer, and that's why they took Therian and Hunter and started just alternating them back and forth. That way we couldn't key on one or the other of them.
2nd and 6, Edward Little at their own 12-yard line, and we've got a flag.
We've
And
got
what
too
do we
much
got?
time.
Is it a delay? That'll be good.
Yeah, we could have a delay in the game, although we saw one of our guys go offsides, but the flag was already, offside.
Lined up offsides.
That's
No
huge.
excuse for that.
Edward Little self-destructing, that's terrible because they have just run a smooth game. Although they made one mistake early on, but just the same.
It only takes a couple mistakes, turnovers, that kind of thing to really
A big score by the other team.
Yeah, take the momentum away because they certainly were having their way, and they realized, I think they realized too, that South Poland's not going to lay down either.
Well, the secondary is going to play a big part here because Lambert can throw the ball, and down here they're going to probably run, but he might throw one, so they've got to cover that in.
2nd and 11, Edward Little, I formation. Lambert's going to be dropping back in his end zone, and here comes, who was it? That was Pat Lyons. That was Pat Lyons that almost had Lambert in the end zone for a safety, and the completion is made by number 11. Looks like he picked up a 1st down.
Yeah, he's very, very close to it, and yeah, he is. He's over it.
I tell you what, Lambert, he does have a good arm, but he's a little slow getting back. If we can put some pressure on him, that certainly could disrupt his passing game today.
You saw that. Pat Lyons went into that line low that time. Remember I said they've been getting stood up just a little bit. He went in low, but he lost his balance. If he'd have been square up on his feet, he'd have taken him down.
Gutsy call by the Edward Little coach as Edward Little throwing the ball out of the end zone. 1st and 10, Edward Little at their own 21-yard line. High formation. Riot's defense need to play tough here. Here's the handoff to the fullback up the middle. He's got lots of running room. He's got lots of running room, and Brandon McCrossen's going to drag him down by the shirt as he gets into Red Riot territory.
Brandon McCrossen has made some saves here today, hasn't he? Already.
Again, Edward Little's offense.
Not looking for him. We're still not looking for Palmer to get
Definitely
the ball.
not something they probably had in the game plan.
Nobody's grabbing at him. He's going to the line, and we're blocking the lineup, but we're looking for somebody else to have the ball.
You know, one of the things they're going to have that we saw last time with Hunter and Terry and taking most of the balls, they're probably swapping off, have some fresh legs as the game runs on. But
Well, they both play both ways, too. That's right.
Palmer plays both ways. He's going to be a tired boy.
We got official timeout as Ryan Maine is being asked to come off the sideline. Probably something wrong with his equipment, or Robbie D checks in the ball game along with Art Dickey.
Looks like he's got a cut on his arm or something. I don't think they can.
They need to.
They'll have to patch it up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Edward Little on the move, leading 14-8. 10 minutes left here in the first half, and again, they're having their way up front. Riots strike back quickly with their own touchdown, and now, after having the Eddies deep in their own end, find themselves again being pushed down the midfield. Lambert, the big quarterback, 1st and 10 here. Sloat goes in motion. Handoff to Hunter off the right side. He's got some running room as well. He'll pick up about 5 yards.
Robbie D did a nice job coming around from his defensive end position and got his hand on him late, but that was Rusty Rutherford that actually made the initial contact on the tackle.
Rusty getting up a little bit slow that time, too.
Well, the defense been on the field a long time here this first half, Coach.
Definitely.
That's why I say that quick strike is, I think, something that the South Portland team needed, but it also made the defense come right back into the game.
Riots needing to stop here.
Yeah, they've got to keep them away from the end zone.
2nd and 6. Edward Little at the Riots, 45-yard line. Lambert again, handoff to Terry and off the left side.
Big
picks up some running room. Rusty Rutherford makes the tackle, but he does pick up. He's pretty close to another first down.
Yeah, he's going to be probably about 3 yards shy, looks like.
3rd and 3.
Instead of
that
back
spot
there,
almost 4 yards. Yeah, 3rd and 4.
That was almost 4.
Coach Zinchuk yelling instructions to the troop. Michael Kahn zeroed in, focused in on what the coach is saying. Need to make a big stop here.
We need a big stop is right. We can make them punt right here. I don't think they'll go for a 4th down play.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see. High formation. We got ends split on both sides. Lambert, the big quarterback, he's a handoff to the fullback. He's got some running room.
He's going to be. He did not bull his way
No,
out.
he's going to be stopped. His knee's going to be about the 40, 41-yard line is my guess. How's that for a call?
I thought it was a good call.
4th down. I'll be surprised, to be honest with you.
They're going to punt.
No, they are going to punt.
I don't know.
They've got a lead
Well,
here.
they're lining up to punt.
Their defense is playing well.
They're lining up to punt, and I think what Edward Little wants to do is pin South Portland back
That's
deep.
right.
Lambert, the quarterback, back to punt. They had trouble last time they were punting from here, and here's the snap. It's a wobbly one. Here's the kick.
Whoa!
Here's the kick. Get away from it. I don't think Ryan McLeod sees it.
Doesn't matter. It's going to bounce for South Portland anyway. And go right out of what? About the 34, 35?
No, they're on the 24.
24, 25.
No arguing. No arguing, guys, on the yard. It's okay.
That's clarity. That's not arguing. It's clarity.
My hands
right.
are kind of sweaty.
We're backing each other up.
Hands are kind of sweaty here as the Riots finally hold. But,
not yet. I haven't got sweaty hands yet. Not yet.
hey, we're in a ball
close.
game.
We're getting close.
We're in a ball game. That's the way it should be. It's playoff time.
You know, we talked about it before. When a team runs away, you can relax a little bit, but I love the close games. And the end are the ones you talk about.
Riots 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line. We got Twins right. Here's the pitch out to
He's got
Tobias on
room,
the left
nice
side. He's
block,
got a good block.
Ray.
He's got some running room. He cuts back to the inside.
I'll tell you, I bet he's going to
Tobias.
thank Matt for a lump on the side of his head there.
Great blocking on that right side of the offensive line.
Yes,
the
great
Riots.
execution, Tobias. Cutting just at the
Great
right
cut.
time.
Great cut.
Good mix-up there, too, because you don't see us pitch out to Tobias much, and I think that threw Edward Little off just
Well,
a
what
little
happened was, you see, we had Twins to the right that time, and
Yep.
that spread the defense out a little bit. Okay, that gave us, those two ends came down, made block on linebacker and one defensive end. And that spread it out. We got the wide side of the field. Of course, Mack can run. 1st and 10. Hand off to Rusty Rutherford. He's in there somewhere, but he's smothered.
Yeah, that handoff didn't go good before, and right now, Edward Little's middle of that defensive line is still kind of controlling the line of scrimmage a little bit.
I kind of like the passing game a little bit. What do you say we go back to that one more time?
Well, John has got to run. He knows what's successful with this team, and he's got to run those. But I think he has the confidence in that passing game that it will help him out.
He does have some confidence in the passing. I came over, saw a couple of practices, a little bit of a couple practices this week, and came over on Wednesday, their offensive practice, and they were throwing the ball a lot and very confident. We got Twins left. We got Ryan McLeod, who's in the slot, and Davini's on the left side. Here's the pitch to Tobias off the left side. Same thing. There's a block on the inside by Rutherford. Matt Tobias going out the outside. He picks up some great running room.
He's going to be close to a first down.
Again, he's doing that with just a perfect timing. Is it the defensive end is just being blocked out of the cornerback? I couldn't tell from over here, but making that cut just at the right time. It's a pretty thing to watch, isn't it?
Picked up another first down.
Great execution.
Right. He's been cutting up, and that time he saw that it was going to stay open to the outside, so he just immediately adjusted. Nice run.
Again, I like the idea of putting the Twins way out and then running off that. Most of the time, obviously, we see the passing from that formation, but it's a great idea to spread the defense out that way. Riots, 1st and 10, 6:44 left in the half, trailing 14-8. Again, it's Twins right. We got McCrossin in the slot. Davini's near side, I formation. Orlando the quarterback. He's going to roll to his left. He's looking to pass. He's going down the middle. He's got Davini down there. Davini makes the catch. He holds on to it. Chris Davini. Touchdown. Red Riot. Woo!
What a great throw, great catch.
Great concentration by Davini.
He kept right on running. He wasn't sure where the football was, sitting on his shoulder.
I know. He didn't stop.
He did not stop. He didn't stop to try to bobble the ball. He kept right in stride. And I think had he stopped to try to get hold of that ball, he might have lost it.
Matty Orlando
Great play.
showing tremendous poise and confidence, throwing a strike to Chris Davini, and they've been wanting to hook up like that all year.
Every little's going to wonder where this all came from.
What a time to make it happen now as the Riots tie the ball game up and looking to take a 1-point lead as Davini catching his breath, bending over. Heslip's getting ready to hold. Davini's like, okay, guys, I'm tired too.
We'll take it, man. We'll take it.
Here's a snap. It's a good one. Good hold by Davini. It's partially blocked, and it's no good.
We got a tie ball game with 6:34 to go in the half. You know, they just covered up in the two pass plays about 135 yards with those two touchdowns.
Hey, we're going to see that touchdown again. It's going to be in black and white, Al.
Watch him
right down the middle.
He looked like Piper just.
Now watch his shoulder. Watch the ball. It's riding on his shoulder, and he stays right in stride and hangs on. Great play. Good concentration. Great execution by quarterback and receiver.
Excellent. I'm killing flies in here.
I told you he was going to have the battle.
What's up with that,
The
Al?
battle rages in the booth, too, folks.
Hey, we got us a ball game, guys. 14-14. Certainly would like that 1-point lead. I certainly don't want to get into an overtime slugfest with these guys from the 10-yard line with the horses they got up front.
They're still giving us a hard time on that, the Edward Little defensive line, and that's why they were able to pressure that kick a little bit and put a hand on it.
Well, you know, all year, guys, the pass has been a work in progress, and we certainly didn't need it
said
at the
that many
beginning.
times this year.
Beginning season, we didn't
a yard
really need
off,
it.
a few feet off. That was great.
And now what a time for it to execute with perfection, but in the playoffs as Matt Orlando throwing two perfect strikes, one to Brandon McCrossin for 65, and how many was that? Was that 55?
50, no, just around 50, 48, 50 yards with the two. Covered 135 yards, two pass plays, and that puts 14 points on the board.
Woo! We got us a ball game,
That's
guys.
quick. Those are quick scores.
The Riots spotting Edward Little 14 points early, and now come back to tie it up. And here's the kick for Davini, end over end. It's a high one taken by Palmer at the 20-yard line. He comes back to the middle of the pack, runs over 5 players. Oh, that hurt. That had to hurt.
I'll tell you, you got a lot of guys on that squad that are small. That's Davini again and on the tackle. Davini gets up off the bottom of the pile as he is just really getting fired up himself.
He is fired up.
DJ Tangway in there helping him out.
Again, saw Chris last night at the supermarket, and he was getting some lobster, or lobster. Is that how you say it? Lobster?
Lobster.
And he was kicking, you know, had a loaf of bread, and he was drop kicking that around and that kind of thing. One time I held it for him, and he said he was going to have a good time today, and he's certainly doing that so far. Edward Little, okay, now let's see if the Riots can keep the momentum here defensively. Lambert's dropping back the pass, hides the ball. Here comes Pat Lyons. Here's the pass. It looks like it's going to be out of bounds, and it is.
Out of bounds and a good defensive play.
Brandon McCrossin
Again.
Brandon McCrossin, great defense that time. I don't know, was he out of bounds? Because I know if you get forced out, if you make the catch,
I think he even went up into the air when his feet were out of bounds when he went up for the football.
That's what it looked like, and McCrossin actually was going for the ball. He didn't actually hit him. He was trying to reach around and slap at the ball. So the officials didn't rule him.
Did a good job come down with that ball.
He did.
A lot of traffic.
Edward Little,
good receivers.
good football team.
That's right.
Again, if we can put pressure on Lambert, we can't get back there. He's got good blocking.
Lions is starting to zero in on him.
6:21, 14 all. Here's a handoff to Hunter off the right side. He's got lots of running room and lots of speed.
Wow.
As he stopped rather abruptly.
He's going to be shy a couple of yards there.
Yeah, Rusty Rutherford over there. Who was that? Oh,
Rusty
Ryan
along
McLeod.
with Ryan McLeod.
They stood him right up.
Yeah, he didn't.
Boy, they're still blocking well, though. They are still
Oh
blocking.
yeah, they're
A little over
Third and 2 at the
2, 3, almost 3.
They're dominating the game on the ground right now.
Man,
Edward Little is.
we have not missed too many extra points. I'm just getting back to that there and seeing that.
Makes that
block.
2 points important, doesn't it?
Oh,
Now on
man,
that
sure
first
does.
touchdown.
Edward Little with the ball again. Another big third down play here. Oh, there's some mix-up in the backfield.
I think he snuck across
He
there.
did. He picked up the first down as Hunter runs into the fullback and then does just pick up the first down.
That was designed to disguise the play.
first and 10 at the
But Edward Little's
41.
offensive line is still dominating that line of scrimmage.
I think
right
we're definitely
now.
seeing the secondary make a few more plays
Yeah.
than we've seen in the last several weeks.
When you start calling McCrossin and McLeod's
Exactly.
names a lot on the tackles, you know that the defensive line is starting to have some problems.
Edward Little, again, on the move here. Ball just over the 40-yard line. I formation. We've got receivers split to the left side. Here comes Terrian off the right side. He's got lots of running room. Again,
Good blocking also. We're not tackling real well.
guys, what's real key to an offensive drive is getting more than 4 yards on first down.
Exactly.
You got to get yardage, and I mean these guys all day so far at this point, been second and there we go.
Well, we
second
got
and
here,
2.
we got second and a long 2. That's 8 yards, exactly what you're saying on that first down.
2 at the 50.
Makes it very, very hard if you're a defense
They've got to spread out a little
to
bit
hold
right
for
now.
2 or 3 yards, 3 plays in a row.
They've got the dilemma. They've got to spread out just a little now, and the defensive line is having trouble with their offensive line.
Starbird comes split to the left. Lambert drops back to pass. He's going to air it out there. And he overthrows his receivers
He's
deep.
not on today, is he?
He's not.
He was much more accurate. Well,
Was
only in the long
something
throws.
short when he was throwing to Palmer there a couple of times in the flats. It's been one thing, but he's definitely been a yard or 2 ahead of every
Yeah, I
receiver.
think it's his. He releases still as up
He's
high,
floating that ball a lot.
and it's floating out there.
I think he's rushing the play just a tad. He's got the time. He should probably wait a half a second more.
Excellent call. Second and 2, second and 1. That's a waste down.
Air it, yeah.
You throw it out, let it go for everything, because now you got 3rd and 2. You got a big offensive line. You got some strong backs. Should be able to pick up 2 yards, but we'll see what happens here. Edward Little, 3rd and 2, just shy of midfield. I formation. So long snap this time. Sloat comes in motion. We cannot have 2 men in motion. What do we got there? There's the flag.
Finally.
We can't have 2 guys in
We
motion.
were watching up here saying, where is the flag?
Or will they say he was set? I don't know. I mean,
I think Palmer had broken the line of scrimmage by the time the play started.
I don't know. Is that the back judge, Greg? Is that the back judge way back that made that call?
Yeah.
Yeah, illegal motion.
How come the guys up front didn't call it? How come line judge didn't call that?
I think they were as surprised as we were
Yeah,
up
like,
here.
what's going on?
Where's
Al,
he going?
Al, do you have any idea what's going on out there? No, Al just runs the equipment, and he's not sure. So, maybe we'll
It's a
have
good
to
thing we
ask
have one
Bev.
official. The one official up here can tell us what happened on that.
Wasn't pretty.
I think they were as surprised.
Ken Jones over there laughing. He's not sure what happened either.
Usually it's a little jump, it's a little movement. That was a downright trot.
Oh, that was. I've never seen that.
Running up to the line. About 6 seconds later, the back judge throws his flag.
But we'll take it. We'll take it. Now it's 3rd and 7. Now it's a whole different play. But Lambert has confidence. High formation. He's going to drop straight back, and here we come. Joey Heslip.
This time. Oh!
That's a fumble. That's a lateral. That should be a
lateral. That play should continue.
I'd be surprised if Gene Keene, the Edward Little coach, is not all over the official on that one. Are he calling him in the grasp? I don't know. But Joey Heslip and Ryan Maine were having a meeting at the quarterback.
You could call him the grasp, Coach. I think that's
Is that what they
probably
called
where
it?
the push is going to come from.
I didn't realize they had that in high school.
Lambert
Do
was
they
on
have
his
that,
way
Greg?
down. I'm not sure either.
What is it?
In the grasp. It's mostly for protection, but it certainly wasn't an incomplete pass because that was a lateral. So
what we can't hear up here is that whistle. The whistle must have blown.
yeah, and they're not consulting with us.
I think they'd look up.
Imagine that.
Okay, here's the snap. It's a good one, and this is a huge kick this
He got a
time
nice kick
by.
off this time.
We got McCrossin trying to get over to the wall. He's got a wall. He's got Matt Tobias in front of him.
Oh, nice cut
He
behind
spins
him.
away, holds on to the ball. There's a little bit of a pile on at the end.
I'll tell you, we watched
The
Brandon with that
41-yard
speed.
line.
We watched Brandon last week with that speed, and one of the things I thought he didn't follow his blocks well a couple times. That time, perfect.
That time perfectly. Maybe he heard you on tape. I don't know. But
I
they had the
don't think
wall
so.
set there. One guy snuck behind, and Matt Tobias leading the way. A great block.
Oh, Matt, he leveled his man.
I tell you what, Brandon McCrossin, I give that guy a game ball the past couple of weeks. He's really offensively has come into his own. Just been a great contributor. Actually, defense as well. T formation left. Hand off to Tobias off the left side. He's got some blockers out in front of him. Mike LeConte, he cuts back on the inside. Still on his feet. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, too many white shirts that time.
Starburn kept that 26, kept that from going outside, turned him back in, had a few helpers there.
Good defensive play that time by Edward Little because they really did. You're right. They push it right back inside.
Excellent ball game, guys. 3:58 left in the half, and we got us a barn burner here. Two teams.
We're starting to get
Little.
a slugfest here.
Edward Little, number 7, coming into South Portland with upset-mindedness and giving South Portland all they can handle today as we're knotted up at 14.
Oh yeah, they're still controlling the line of scrimmage with their offensive line right now.
Again, I formation, twins right. We got McCrossin in the slot, and Vinny's out to his right. Orlando, here he is. He's going to roll to his left. He's got excellent blocking. He's looking downfield. He's going to air it out. He's got McCrossin again, and he makes it go!
Dropped it. No, incomplete pass.
Boy, almost made a great catch.
Brandon McCrossin going up, almost holding on to the ball.
I think he had it, got it knocked out of his hand.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it did get knocked out of his hands right at the last minute there.
Okay, Brandon, so you're not quite Superman, but you're real close. That was great.
Brandon McCrossin and Matt Orlando with the confidence of a veteran quarterback now, stepping up and throwing.
Yeah, that time he threw in the coverage a little too much. His man did not have it.
We're going to take a look at this again, or attempt to look at this again. What do we got there, Al?
We've got plenty of time. Yeah, timeout called.
We do. Riots take timeout with 3rd and 9. 3 minutes, 3:25 left in the half. 14 apiece. Guys, this is a good ball game. These are the ones you like to come see.
Well, South Portland definitely seeing themselves getting dominated a little bit on the offense and defensive lines, and now starting to move around a little bit, open things up just a tad. And I think Matt Orlando was going to be a key to this game, and he has certainly proved to be that so far.
Coach Wolfgram's shown that he's ready to air the ball out here.
Yes, he
is. He's got to keep the front line honest, and he had to score some points. That's exactly what they did.
And you know that Edward Little's coming. You know, whoever comes here to play, you know, Edward Little is obviously, you know, very well coached throughout the week to stop their run. You know, we haven't seen Rusty yet be, you know, have an effect with the guard trap. No, you know, so that's jammed up at the middle. So you know that they've worked on stopping that because that's been bread and butter for us all year. Of course, Matt Tobias is a given, but I don't think they're well prepared for the pass.
Exactly.
You know, like they're seeing with South Portland right now. I mean, we're just throwing the ball with some confidence. So, you know, they'll make some adjustments, obviously, at halftime as well, just like we do. And, of course, Coach Wolfgram and staff, they're just masters at that.
I'd like to see us go a little shorter passes here for a while, Mooch, because we need to do a little game control here.
Okay, here comes the counter, I can tell. McCrossin's out there. Here he comes. Counter crisscross. He's got some running room plus some wheels. He's going to get to outside. He's got Hunter chasing him. He's going to stop.
Yeah, Hunter dragged him down. He's down to the 18-yard line. Great run. Great call, Mooch. You saw it coming.
I can see McCrossin out there.
You knew it.
And Brandon McCrossin's got some wheels, but Hunter, what's his name? First name?
Tommy Hunter.
He's got Hunter. He's got wheels, too.
He's got brand new retreads.
Now,
man.
is that the only time that McCrossin plays that? Help us out on that, Mooch.
No, he plays the wingback all game,
Right.
And you know, he'll take a handoff.
Setup.
What's that?
The way they set up.
The way that he sets up, he's the one that does run that. He runs it inside, outside. It's a counter. It's big. And here's a pitch to Tobias off the left side. Good block by Rusty Rutherford. Tobias going to get outside, pick up maybe 3 or 4 yards, leans forward to about the 10-yard line.
He's still picking up real tough yardages, Matt Tobias is. He's getting really, they're covering the run very well, but he is pushing himself up an extra couple, 3 yards every time.
You know, we've run that crisscross probably 3 or 4 times a game now. That's the first time we've seen it today, but I'm sure there's coaches out there that pick up on it as well. But when you see
Huge hole.
when you see Brandon facing back, you know, usually he'll look straight ahead, but when you see him facing towards the backfield and coming back on the inside, you just know it's going to happen, and a huge hole. They've executed that well. We got Twins right. Here's a handoff to Rusty Rutherford up the middle. He's got some running room this time. Stays to his feet, gets to about the 6-yard line.
He's going to pick up the first down.
Yeah,
It's gonna
you're
be
right.
first and goal.
One of the things that we've been able to do here, guys, if you can see it unfold, because we've been going Twins right and left a lot, almost every play, you know what it does? It spreads the defense out.
Yep.
Now it gives us opportunity to run on the inside, just like Rusty Rutherford did that time, picked up 3 or 4 yards.
Well, we were getting, like I said, we were getting dominated, and that was because Edward Little was able to stay bunched up there in the middle, and now we've spread them out. The run's starting to work everywhere now.
Riots on the move offensively. Again, Rutherford up the middle. He's going to go in the end zone. Touchdown! Rusty Rutherford.
1:57 to go in the second half. We've got a ball game.
Woo!
Red Riots go up 20-14.
They have come all the way back with 20
Man.
unanswered points here.
Look at those last
Late
12
in the
yards
second
by
half.
Rutherford. Great call.
I tell you, we asked for bounce back time at gut check. What do you think? Did they answer the call?
They certainly did that. They need to kick this point in, though, and I'll tell you one of the things I see with this. The snap and the set are not quite fast enough, plus the Vinny likes to wait a second till the ball's down before he approaches. They're going to have to speed this up a little bit if Edward Little blocks this one.
Here we go. Hesler prepared to hold. Look, we got movement up front
Everybody,
here.
we might be called on that one.
We might be called on that one. Everyone's pointing to, who's that, Art Dickey off the left side?
I think, yeah.
62.
Is that,
Yeah,
no, that's
82.
number 82. For the right, no, they're saying it is against Edward Little. They're calling
Really?
offsides. Probably made some contact first.
Made contact. And that was Gleason, 82.
Tyler
Go
Gleason,
back in. Now we're going for 2.
1 for 2 again. Going for 2. Riots leading 20-14, 1:57 left in the half. Guys, the Riots offense certainly asserted themselves on this drive, flexed their muscles.
I'm watching Joey Hez up there. He's looking right at the zoo crew over there saying, come on, guys, we're back.
Going for 2. Riots going for 2 from the 1.5-yard line.
Big gut check here for Edward Little now because this is going to be a big motivational lift, I think, for South Poland.
Power eye left. Watch for Tobias go off the left side. He's going to it. He's going to go in the end zone. He's in for 2.
He's in, but it was tough.
They saw it coming, couldn't stop it. Tobias goes in, makes it 22-14.
We're going to see the replay again on the extra point or the touchdown.
On the touchdown.
Rusty Rutherford. Here it is. No, there it isn't. She loves me not. She loves me.
We'll get it.
Well, guys, tape it at home and rewind it and watch it
Keeps
again.
kicking out on us. We'll get it next time.
As we see Big Mike LeCon along with Matt Tobias coming off the field saying, hey, you guys having fun? Hey, I'm having a blast. And you? Can you believe we're seniors? Man, we're talking.
22-14.
We're in playoffs.
A lot of points first half of the football game.
That is a ton.
Boy, yeah, I mean, you're talking, what, 36 points between these two teams? And I kind of expected a little bit of scoring, but I thought that would be what the score at the end of the game would be.
You know, what was the Houston basketball coach's name? What's his name? Rudy Tomjanovich. You know, back when the Rockets won 2 back-to-back championships, their second year, they were down 3-1 to someone. I can't remember who it was.
Yankees.
But they were down to the Yankees. And they came back and won that series 4-3.
Yeah.
And went on to win their second championship. And he made a huge statement. He says, you know, you can never underestimate the heart of a champion. And I know that we're not the defending champions, but we're the defending Western Maine host. And we got hearts of champions, and we bounced back with 22 points. And there's a huge
Look at that tackle by Maines.
Wow.
Ryan Maines lowers the shoulder and
How
drives.
much does Ryan Maines weigh?
A lot less than
Maine, about 178 pounds they have him down for.
Ryan Maines 178, and he just
Palmer, 200 pounds.
he just put Palmer on his back. That was it was Maine. Ken just told me there's no S, so Ken Maine. I'm sorry.
Ryan Maine.
Ryan Maine.
How you doing, Mooch?
A little slow on the uptake, but we'll get it
Kinda
straight
slow.
in the second half.
This is Moochie's Davis.
Kind of excited, having fun, you know. There we go. Lambert, 1st and 10 from 30-yard line. He's going to drop straight back to pass. It's a good pass to Starboard in the flat.
This is where South Poland has to play tight. They've
Yeah,
got
I'll
to
tell
keep
you.
them from getting any points at
40
all.
to go that far down in that's a little bit of a dangerous
Gutsy.
pay.
That's gutsy. I'll tell you what, last week against Porter, he's throwing the ball all over the place, and the defensive backs were having a blast. And we picked off 2 or 3 last week. And, of course, Brandon McCrossin picking off the big one in the end zone. You know, you throw the ball in the flat like that, it gets picked off with a defensive back with some wheels, and it's touchdown. 2nd and 5. Handoff to Hunter off the right side. He's got lots of running room.
Hunter kind of out-juked himself that time, as I think he would have broke that all the way, except he tried to make one last move and almost stumbled on it.
That Hunter family, they are fast. Good legs. Do you know their dads or mom?
Between Hunter and Therian, and, well, even Palmer's showing his stuff here a little bit today, but between Hunter and Therian, they got 2 of the better backs, I think, in the league.
Because as I mentioned last time, Phil Stroud here went to Edward Little, and I think we've kind of won him over a little bit here, but Lambert drops back. No, he's going to hand off to Therian. He's going to pick up 3 or 4 yards, but
Therian on the run.
they're still winning the battle of the line right now. The offensive line for Edward Little is still pushing us back a bit.
so
we
Phil,
haven't
I asked
answered
him
that yet.
last time, what is an eddy? What's a red eddy?
It's a ghost.
It's a ghost.
A ghost.
Is it real though?
The ghost of the Red Eddie pass.
The ghost.
Edward Little's called timeout with 55 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, why not? Because he's got confidence in this offense that they can score. He wants to take a chance and
He's
get 2 more points.
probably going to take a couple of shots at it.
Sure.
Got 2nd down, 7 to go.
He can probably throw it to the end zone from there. He's got a huge arm. I'll tell you what, we faced 3 good quarterbacks. Porter, Lambert, and who's the other kid? Deering. What's his name? Tim Donald.
Timmy
3
Donald.
huge, could be big-time quarterbacks. I mean, these guys are 6'3", 6'4", and can throw the ball well. I tell you what, Coach Wolfgram even mentioned that Porter, he said that guy's a big-time quarterback. And
Yes,
we'll probably see that kid playing some college ball someday, may even see his name amongst the pros one day. I mean, he certainly has the mind for it. He throws the ball well.
You're talking a kid that, as a sophomore last year, was throwing out low to the dirt so his receivers could slide into it and make the catch,
Yeah.
and right on the button.
I mean, he was doing it. They had pressure on him. He was throwing them sideways.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Edward Little, 55 seconds left. Lambert's going to drop straight back, and that's knocked down by Ryan Maine. No S on his name. Ryan Maine.
We like it when we get something right, don't we, Mooch?
He's a junior. He's a junior. You know, I don't want to get too far ahead, but I get kind of excited this time of year when you see those juniors' names, sophomore and junior.
Yeah.
You see them in playing, contributing. You know, you're always kind of thinking ahead. And we've got some boys on both sides of the football that are excellent football players. We'll be back here next year.
You got to figure Ryan and Rob D. Those guys are coming in. That's right. They're your defensive ends for next year.
Twins left. Edward Little, 3rd and 8. Lambert's rolling to his left. He's got all kinds of pressure.
Oh,
all kinds of pressure. We had Rusty Rutherford along with Bobo and Ryan Maine having a meeting at the quarterback, causing that one, I think, to be underthrown, don't you think?
He threw it to get rid of it, that's all. 4th down. This is a big 4th down. And South Portland wants to put a stop
They're going
here.
to get some plays off in there.
This will be the 2nd defensive stop South Portland's made this game.
That's excellent. We've needed to do that. I think we've maybe shaken them up a little bit and taken them out of their game. Here's a snap. He drops it. He's going to get it off.
He hit him before the ball was kicked, so there's no
catch.
penalty.
Did he kick that with his left foot?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, he's left-footed.
He is left-footed. That's why he does that then.
Right. He's probably been doing that for a long time.
Anybody
He does
notice?
that. See,
We're a
most,
sharp bunch of guys up there. We've been picking up on these things.
That's why we bring Phil in to
for
help
those
us
of
out.
you at home, if you're a left-footed kicker, you
I wonder
normally
if that's on the
will kick the
television.
ball left.
The same way it is down on the field. They'll see on the television it was his left foot.
Oh.
What do you think?
So what does South Portland do here, Mooch? You
No,
think
but
we really
saw
go for
one
a kill
kicker
here?
this year kick it with his left foot as he was running.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. So what do you think? Do we go for something?
Oh,
here?
we go for it. Coach Wolfgram, I think he's got some confidence in Matt Orlando, and Matt has confidence in Matt. And
I need to see Matt throw the ball a little higher in the air when he throws the bombs and try to get it over
Vinny
the
split to the
defense.
left. We got power I formation. That probably would indicate we're going to run the ball, and that's exactly what we do. As the bias goes off the left side, he's got lots of running room.
Yeah, and if he could count that out of bounds running, he would have picked up another 35 yards.
Good blocking again on that left side.
You notice that their line over there on the Edward Little side, once he went across that little white line, nobody over there could tackle him.
Right.
So they don't have very good people on their bench.
That's right, man.
Right?
None of those guys jumped
Right. I mean, he
up.
picked up 15 yards on them.
Hey, 32 seconds left in the half, and I'll tell you what, this would, I don't want to say it'd be a nail in the coffin, but I'll tell you what, it would certainly, I think, cause the Edward Little defense to be a little bit depressed if they get scored on with 32 seconds
it would
left.
spread them out big time. That's right.
Again, we got twins right. McLeod is in the slot, I formation. Here comes Orlando. He's rolling to his left, stands behind his blocker. He's going to throw it out there. He's got Vinny. They got triple coverage back there.
They weren't taking any chances, were they?
27 seconds left. Okay, guys, watch from across and in the flat.
You know something we're doing here? Look at Lambert. Look how slow he runs back. We're wearing him down.
I can't believe he's, what is he, a defensive back?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
We keep airing it out like that. We could run him right out of the game.
Well, hey, guys, join us at halftime. We're going to try to grab Athletic Director Tor Nielsen for an interview at the half, if we can find him. And Tor, how long has Tor been here as the Athletic Director? 10 years, 14 years, 20 years?
Rusty Rutherford breaks open.
Rusty, sorry, man. Rusty Rutherford. That's something that Coach Wolfgram will do, too. When everyone's expecting a pass, he'll run the guard trap for 50 yards. I've seen that happen before.
And he's got plenty of time still. He's got 18 seconds left on the clock, Mooch. He's got time for two plays.
Yeah. Time for 2 plays.
Easy 2 plays. Maybe 3 if things go well.
South Portland, Coach Wolfgram looking at the field position. 3rd and inches.
I think now you need to flood the deep pass, probably with McCrossan and Davini out there, and maybe even somebody else. And just get 3-4 receivers out there and then just air the ball and see if you can get a big play.
You watch for McCrossan. Where's McCrossan? You watch him coming in motion and wheeling out into the flat, okay? You just kind of keep an eye out for that, because that could happen. And that young man's got some wheels.
All we got to do is see Orlando with the arm enough to throw it far enough to get it to him, right?
Tell you what, a game of momentum as Edward Little, again, coming down here with upset in their mind, as they're the number 7 rated team in the league, and come out and just push SP's defense all over the field. I'm talking long drives, right? I mean, they marched the ball pretty much the length of the field both times, and going up 14-0.
And that hasn't stopped, Mooch. They still control the line of scrimmage with their offense, but South Portland is making enough stops.
We're getting tough. Yeah, we're getting
That's
tougher.
right.
You know, Coach Wolfgram, has always said, hey, I don't care what a team does between 20-yard lines on us. They can do anything.
Right.
Well, when we get down to red zone, McLeod's in the flat. McCrossan's not even out there. Here's a handoff to Tobias off the right side. He's got some running room. So he's going to cut up the middle, then bounce to the outside. Stiff arms Hunter. Still on his feet. He's going to go out of bounds with 9 seconds left.
To go. Great running by
9 seconds to go.
Good sportsmanship there by Hunter as he helps Tobias up, gives him a little bit of path. They got mutual respect for each other. 2 excellent ball players.
A couple of the top running backs in the high school ranks here in the state of Maine.
Well, right on the field
Good
here.
football game. You've seen that even in both of these games. It's been, they're really playing hard against each other. We've seen nothing whatsoever of flare-ups or anything like that.
They got mutual respect for each other,
Real good sportsmanship.
Edward Little, of course, having a good year. They've had a good couple years here, back to back. They had a drought for many, many years. Won a couple state championship back in the 70s. Twins left. We got McCrossan is in the slot. I formation. We got delay of game. Dead ball foul, delay of game. First time we've seen that happen in the past couple weeks. We've been pretty quick. Of course, 5 yards doesn't mean a whole lot right now with this much time in the game.
Yeah, because 5 yards isn't going to be the difference in a touchdown or not, because he can throw it that far.
He can throw it in the end zone from there.
That's right. And I think that's all we'll see now with 9 seconds to go. We'll see probably 1 attempt, and if they miss the catch or if it's an incomplete pass, we might have time for 1 more.
Come on, Riot, let's go!
Twins left. McCrossan in the slot. Orlando's going to roll to his left. Fakes to Tobias. He tucks it. Pulls it up. He's going to try to throw it out as he's rolling to the left. This was going to be almost picked off. We got 1 second left.
I'll tell you, who was that come back to try to help out McCrossan, and if he'd have stayed where he was, it would have gone right to him.
Number 88, Sloat there in pursuit of Orlando, wanting to put a hit on him.
Orlando got up a nice throw there, and Brian thought he had to come back and help. He thought it was going to come short, and it actually sailed just enough. McCrossan would have been right dead there.
It's tough for a right-handed quarterback to roll to his left and try to throw the ball on the run.
He has to turn his body and set his feet.
He does. He's got to turn and plant, and that's tough. Of course, Coach Filio could do that because I've been watching him throw the ball,
Actually, it doesn't matter whether he plants or not.
Coach Horton was throwing the ball. Mike Horton was throwing the ball to the guys, and I think he throws the ball better than Aaron. Aaron, what do you think of that? So we're gonna have to talk about that. Here we go. Last play of the first half. Twins left. Watch out for the guard trap. There it is. What'd I tell you? He's going to break it up on the left side. He's still going.
He's saying, no way,
He's still on his feet. That is typical Coach Wolfram football, Just when he is predictably unpredictable. How's that?
And that's typical Rusty Rutherford, who just gave it everything he had. and was what? Ended
Had a
up
couple of guys
14
to
yards
beat
short.
there. I'll tell you, that would have been
That would have been
a hard
amazing.
pill to swallow for Edward Little as the teams leave the field.
And that's going to be it for the end of the first half. It has been a great one. Riots coming back, spotting Edward Little 14-0, coming back and taking the lead 22-14. We're going to be back for a great second half. Don't go away, folks.
Here we are at halftime with the athletic director of South Pole High School, Thor Nielsen. Thor, this is a great game. We thought we'd have a good one today. What do you think of these guys today?
Unbelievable. Every week they just get better and better, and I attribute that to Coach Wolfgram and certainly the heart of our athletes.
You know, as you mentioned, at the heart of the athletes, you know, it seems like every year, Tor. I mean, what's it been like? You've been here how many years?
This is my eighth year as athletic, ninth year as athletic director.
Okay, I mean, what's it been like for you?
Sixth year. I was an assistant principal a while ago. I don't know. I'm caught up in the game.
We're gonna help him. Okay, it is a great game. But what's it been like? Not just the football team, but it seems like year in, year out. It doesn't matter if it's the basketball team, the field hockey team, the football team. Each year, I mean, South Portland athletics seem to go to a different level, a higher level, and they always come and seem to be fighting for the championship. What's it like to have a coaching staff amongst all of that that prepares their
I don't
teams?
think there's an athletic director in the state that can be as proud of the program as I am of South Portland. Our coaching staff is outstanding. They really care about the kids. They can bring the best out of their athletes, and their athletes really want to work for the program. And obviously, we've got a lot of volunteers in the system. We've got volunteers working with the youngsters before they get into our school programs. We've got a lot of parental support. We've got certainly our quarterback club has, you know, they're 50 years old at this point. So this is a great community, supports what we do, and you can look around at the facility that we have now, and I just couldn't be any more proud than I am about our program.
See, it's not just about the football season. I mean, your year is busy all year long, summertime, preparation, schedules, all of that. Yeah. And it must be hard to juggle that from time to time, but you get to as many sporting events as you can and always supporting the athletes.
Yeah, I'm really, I get tired every now and then. Like I may get home at about 5 o'clock and crawl into bed for an hour so I can get a good night's sleep later on. It's a nice problem to have, though, yeah. You know, going with your athletes right through November and walking right into the next season, and then walking right into the next season after that. And when you see the expression on the kids' faces, you know, when they go into tournament time, it's just great. Yeah. And I love what I do. I love the kids. I love what I do.
Good for you.
As an ex-South Portland Red Riot attendee and athlete, Tor, I like to see what we've done. You're right, we do have nice facilities. You brought a lot of good things to this program. And is there still some things you want to see?
Well, I don't know if I brought those to the program. I attributed a lot to the kids and to their parents and certainly to the coaches. What I'd like to see, as far as programs are concerned, I'd like to see boys and girls lacrosse this spring. I'd like to see volleyball for the girls, and I'd like to see a wrestling program for our boys down the road. Certainly, as you can see the track, you can see the tennis courts. Yes. Things are taking shape. People that I've talked with from Edward Little who come here just can't wait to come down here because they like the environment. I was talking with Norm Karkos from Channel 8. He absolutely loves coming here, not necessarily to root for one team or the other, but just because we run a fantastic show. And I mean, you guys, you're right in the thick of things as well. I mean, your production is top rate, and you know we can't do any better than what we have right now. So while I do want some other programs, I certainly am very, very pleased with what we have right now.
Well, I know they're pulling you a little bit, Tor, so we'll let you get on to business. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you.
Come out on top here and advance to next week. So.
Well, let's see. With 7:45 left, we're down. We've scored 22. Let's keep them from getting any more. Let's score a couple more. I'll be real happy.
One of the things I like about Tor as well is he drives a nice car, man. We both have Saab. I knew there was something I liked about you as I pulled up next to him in mine.
Yeah, I got mine used. Mine was in '93. I got mine used.
All right. Hey,
thanks, Tor.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Hey, guys.
We're going to be back for exciting ball in the second half of this game, in which that was nice to be able to talk to Tor.
It was. It's good to see, you know, an athletic director that just loves what he does. I mean, he loves the kids, you know, and he's sharp, he's strong, and it just typifies what South Portland athletics are. You know, just a great leader amongst leaders, yes. And that's exciting. So it's a good ball game here. Yeah. South Portland's, you know, down 14 points, coming back big with 22 points. It's going to be an exciting second half.
See you in a little while, folks.
Hey, welcome back, everyone, to the second half of a fantastic, electrifying, exciting quarterfinal playoff game between your number 2 South Portland Red Riots against the number 7 Edward Little Red Eddies down from Auburn. And hey, guys, man, we have had us an incredible ball game already in one half.
Exactly. We saw the Red Eddies come out, score 14 points in the first quarter, and the Red Riots came right back in the second quarter, scoring 22 points. That's a lot of points for a first half of football. Great first half.
And I'll tell you, the surprise, I think, for the Red Eddies is the South Portland passing game, which has gone for like 3 huge plays here today. And they're probably saying, what the heck is going on? We finally stopped their run pretty much, or at least controlled it. And they just throw 40, 50-yard touchdown passes.
I tell you what, that it's just such a compliment to the South Portland coaching staff and their athletes to be able to do that. Again, they worked on passing. It's been a work in progress all year, and it really hasn't been a factor in the victories along the way, but yet here it is today. It's the biggest contributing factor to leading this ball game.
Definitely. We had 2 pass plays, scored 14 points or 12 points, covering about 135 yards, we calculated. That's a lot of real estate in 2 plays. They needed that quick strike and brought them right back in the ball game. The defense is not... They gave up those 14 points really in the first, let's say, the first half of the first quarter. We've gone about a quarter and a half. Defense have given up a little bit of field, but they've really stopped. They've had 3 punts, I think, on Edward Little's part. So the Red Riots have dug in. They played a great second quarter of defense.
One of the things you see, and I like to see the depth of the team. And you see South Portland, and I'm watching Ferrani out there on his crutches, going out in the middle of the field, one of the captains shaking hands.
Yep.
Out of the season, every year it seems like we're seeing one of our captains usually gets knocked out at the end of the season. He's on crutches, and here we are again, and yet South Portland's still playing well. Pat Lyons stepping in, Robbie D and Ryan Maine filling in at defensive end for Ryan Sprague. I mean, these guys just working well together and overcoming all the odds.
South Portland's got an excellent feeder system, has, good junior high football and good freshman ball club. And it's funny because I saw a couple of young men in the gym yesterday, a couple of freshmen, and they can't wait to play varsity football for the Riots. Here's the kick. The second half is underway. It's an end kick. It's going to go to Rutherford on the left side. He's going to come up to the middle, try to find a crack, and he does a little bit. But finally overtaken by a host of Edward Little tacklers.
A 17-yard return by Rutherford to start off the second half. This is going to be an important series of downs right here for the Red Eddies. They know they're going to have to stop these guys. But the Riots are going to come out. They want to put some points on the board really quick.
They do. Coach Wolfgram wants to go for the juggler right now. He wants to end this thing and not get into a shooting match the entire second half, because Edward Little obviously has proven that they can move the ball offensively and rather quickly. We've got trips to the left here, guys. Triplets. DeBias, DeVinny, McCrossin, no one in the backfield. Watch out for the quarterback sneak, and there it is.
Nice 5-yard gain or 2 for the first play of the second half. Another surprise.
I'll tell you, I know Coach Wolfgram, they have a tendency to add a few extra wrinkles in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? And there we saw that. I don't think we've ever seen that here at South Portland. And huge hole up the middle again. You spread guys out like that, and you spread the defense out as well.
I know. I was watching these 3 guys out here. So the minute the snap was what's going on. Here we go again. Same play.
Triplets again left. We've got Rutherford's way out to the left. Orlando's going to hold on the ball again. It's another quarterback sneak up the middle. That is so interesting. That is something else, I got to tell you.
Well, that's why we have Coach. That's why we have Coach Wolfgram down there. He's coaching this. He knows he's coming out and wants to show something different.
You know what he wants to do is he wants to get the defense. He wants to get the defense. He's trying to get into the head of the defense and make them guess. Okay, so. Just a real interesting set of plays.
I think that's a great way to come out and start the second half.
Absolutely.
Throw something different at them.
Twins right, 3rd and 3, 10:42 remaining in the second half here. Riots leading 22-14, I formation. Everybody's moving, a little bit of moving. Looked like a fumbled snap there. Orlando holds on to it, gives DeBias the ball, and he's going to pick up maybe 2 yards.
He's close to a first down.
He's got to be shy by about a yard.
You know what? That first quarterback.
Where they put the spot here. This is going to be an interesting. Oh yeah, he's.
They're going to move it up, but yeah, you're right.
He's fourth down. Fourth about a yard.
Coach Wolfgram, this is going to be interesting here. Coach Wolfgram looking at it. He's almost considering going for it here.
Calling timeout here.
Officials maybe calling timeout for measurement.
I don't think so.
Wolfram probably looking to delay things just a little bit so he can talk to Matt. And so here, give me a measurement. We'll see where we're at.
Yeah, a little bit of chess here immediately in the second half. You know, that first quarterback sneak, it looked like Matt Orlando lost his footing because he did have some running room there.
Yeah, Dan Sears, first time we've seen him.
This is the Riot's first punt.
Yeah.
As they're going to be punting from, he's going to be standing at his 30-yard line. Everything is contingent upon a good snap, and it is a good snap. And again, it's a good kick. It's going to float up there. It's going to be bouncing around. Edward Little players getting out of the way. Art Dickey waiting for it.
Yeah. Covered up at about the 34-yard line, and Dan Sears gets off another good punt.
You know, that was a big play. You know, Phil, you mentioned, you know, that it's a big series for Edward Little, and they made the stops, you know, immediately on the Riots, force the Riots to give the ball up. They deferred to the second half to receive the kickoff. And
well, the defense did their part. Now,
they did their part.
Now the Red Riots, they're for a series of defense here in the second half. Very important also. They're holding on, just 8-point lead.
Be interesting to see. You know what? You know what's interesting, especially in a position where we go in the second half when we're, going at the end of the first half and behind, which hasn't happened too many times. I'll get back to that thought in just a second. 9:45, just underway here in the half. Edward Little's first possession. The fullback's got plenty of running room, and he is still on his feet.
Dan Sears tripped him up, and I couldn't see. I think it was Ryan Maine that helped finally put him on the ground.
Okay,
Orlando.
Palmer picks up about 15 yards immediately. And again, they go right back to the things that they had some success with.
But that was good blocking. I watched the Holy come in. It took him a long time to
Took
get
his time, didn't he? Yeah, he took his time. He picked that. He let it open up a little bit.
But anyways, back the defense, if we go in the first half, and if we've been pushed around in the first half like we were offensively, Coach Wolfram will go over his key plays, and he'll talk to every defensive player. What happens here? What happens here? Who's on you? Who blocks you? What's going on? And each player will tell what exactly is happening. If the guard is trapping down on them, blocking down. Here's Hunter with a handoff. Mike LeConte.
And
Bobo.
Tackle, but Joey Heslop was the one that just got the initial contact and stopped that play goal.
Mike LeConte and Bo Vozine in on the stop, just as you say, after Heslop causes a little bit of disruption there in the backfield. And that's what they got to do. See, here we are, guys, 2nd and 11, as opposed to 2nd and 2.
2nd and 3, right? Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
That is so key here for the Riot defense to gain that confidence and the momentum they need to shut this high-powered offense down. Just underway here in the second half, 8:44 left. Riot's leading 22-14 after leading by 14 points. Lambert drops way back. He's got some room. He's got a receiver out there.
That was a great catch. Trying to cross him for the first time today. Actually got caught with his head turned the wrong way. But the ball was just barely overthrown, so no harm, no foul.
Mike Poulin, a receiver we haven't seen much of, and almost caught him by surprise there.
A little bit of a better pass that time downfield by Lambert as he struggled a little bit throwing the ball downfield. Has done a good job throwing it over the middle as a dart, if you will, and in the flat, but he's made some adjustments on his throw as well. Again, here very few times we've seen 3rd and long, especially 3rd and 11 here by Edward Little. Let's see if the Riots defense can dig in and hold. High formation. We got receivers split on both ends. Lambert's going to drop straight back. Here comes Rusty Rutherford, and there's a screen set up on the left side. He's got lots of blockers out there. Hunter, who's fast. That's why Rusty was able to get in. He was blitzing. Rusty blitzing the whole way.
Look at Rusty and Lambert walking up the field, about 2 feet difference as they stand beside each other. And he still put him on his back. That was...
That's the advantage of a tall quarterback, though. He was able to still make that throw.
Maintain balance. That well-executed screen to the left side. Of course, Hunter, he's got some wheels. Picks up about, 13 yards, 13, 14, actually about 17 yards for the first down. Edward Little offense on the move again here. Riot's defense need to hold. Riot's already looks like they're in a 6-5. Here's a handoff to Terry and off the left side. Actually, he's coming up the middle. Matt.
Really good with missing tackles, but they aren't. These are good blocks that are being set on these guys.
Yep. Matt Jones and Bovo in on the tackle that time. Again, now they pick up 5 yards. It's 2nd and 5.
Well, we're seeing a very similar drive to those first two that we saw in the first quarter. Mixing up the plays, little pass, little running, changing Terry and Hunter, exchanging each play. Palmer's really the only constant with Lambert in the backfield.
Yep. Well, he seems to be the big blocking back, and of course today he's picked up some chunks of yardage.
Again, very few teams have come in here over the years and moved the ball so effectively on the ground against the Riots as Edward Little's doing today. We got end split right, pro set backfield. Here's the big fullback Palmer who works his way, twists and turns and bounces. He's going to pick up the first down.
Yeah, Rusty Rutherford, Ryan McLeod in there on the tackle. And you're right, he's going to pick up the first down. And Edward Little looking really good. But, you know, one thing I thought had not stopped is Edward Little still controlling that line of scrimmage pretty much with their offensive line.
First and 10.
22-14. Riots leading as the lights are on here. Lights are on at a overcast skies. I'm not a weatherman, so I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that. Humulus. I feel humulus. Starboard goes to the right. Actually, Pullen goes to the right. Starboard to the near side. I formation. Lambert drops back to pass. Rolls to his left. He's got a little bit of running room. Heslop's on him. Oh, he better get out of bounds before Mike LeConte says hi to him in a real intimate fashion.
There's a personal way.
Mike running bad,
Brian Lambert on the run.
He hasn't had too many blitzes called on his side. Mike hasn't, so he really wants
No,
to tackle.
I think that's the first time these two games we've seen Edward Little and South Portland play that we've seen Lambert actually carry the ball beyond the line of scrimmage.
That was that almost looked designed for him to run. You know, I don't think he really was going to pass. I mean, he looked to run the whole way. He doesn't look fast, but maybe deceptively. You know, he takes one step, picks up 4 yards. You know,
once he got around number 7 Heslop, he really had some field to go there. Great pursuit by the linebackers on that.
Again, the Riots defense again giving up 7 yards on first down. Second down, 2nd and 3, just inside the 20. Lambert drops straight back to pass. He's going to throw the ball over the middle, and that's going to be caught.
There we go.
It's incomplete.
No,
They're calling it incomplete.
I was watching, and the receiver was down there, and he was really struggling. I think Matt knocked the ball loose from his hands.
I'll tell you what, Matty Orlando from this angle looked like he was pretty close to stepping in front of that, but it was a well-thrown pass by Lambert. He had to throw it in the fashion that he did and where he did because it was the only way that he could even make the attempt to make the catch. But
Orlando swept the receiver's arms, and just as he was catching the ball, and he never really caught it. And the official over on the left side here, he saw it clearly enough that he called it off.
Edward Little here on the move as they are knocking on the Red Riots' door one more time inside the 20-yard line. Again, we got receivers split on both ends. Lambert hands off to Terrian, and there's a fumble. There's a fumble. I can't tell who's got it. The Riots got the ball.
LeConte's pursued. He comes up with a football. He's down on the field.
Mike LeConte come up with it.
He came up with it.
That's a big play. I thought Mike LeConte was getting up a little slow, but he's up on his feet and moving, so he's okay.
Again, go ahead, Phil. No, again, it's turnovers. Turnovers will hurt you every time, and that was very, same territory that South Portland fumbled in the first quarter. And Edward Little coming up with the turnover. The Riots causing the turnover, and they take over 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line, 13-yard line. Stopping a drive. We'll stop a drive any way that we can here.
That's right.
Twins left. Davinian, McCrossin in the slot. I formation, actually T formation.
Back to the basics.
Pitch to Tobias off the left side. He's got some running room. He cuts to the inside, back to the inside. Now he's coming across the grain. He's got some running room. Matt Tobias. He could go all the
He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
No flags down. Matt
He takes
Tobias.
that ball.
93 yards. No, was it not?
No,
Yeah,
86 yards.
86 yards.
86-yard run by Tobias. Cuts back, starts left, comes all the way across the flats, down the right side. Great run. The horses were going slow, was trying to keep up with him, but there was no way he was going to catch him. He had the end zone in his eyes.
Mike LeConte, by the way, made a huge block, and he is just now, 30 minutes later, getting back up with that.
That was huge, guys. Of course, Phil is much better and quicker in math than I was. I said 93, but it was 86 yards. And I got to tell you, that was huge. Excellent blocking up front as Heslop gets ready for the hold. And here's the kick by Davini, and that one's straight down the middle. And the Riots double up the Eddies here, 29-14. We get a chance to see that one again now.
We got 29 points on the board, but our 3 of those touchdowns, the 2 pass plays, that run covers about 215 yards in just 3 plays. Big play football.
Did you see him turn on the jets here at the 30-yard line? Because Hunter was coming down, and he left Hunter at the 30-yard line.
He just turned on the afterburners.
Excellent blocking up front there, as you said, by Mike LeConte and everyone else on that left side. Matt Tobias, again, the Twins left, spreading the defense out. Matt Tobias taking the ball on the left side, cutting back against the grain. That's what's exciting about a runner like that. It's one thing to go straight down the middle, but to cut all the way against the grain, you come against the tacklers, And
That was
I don't know if anyone touched
that
him
was a
down here.
desired play. He was going left. He's going to stay left. He just saw that slot. He came across the flats. It was just off to the races.
Excellent block, too. I saw a nice block by Rusty Rutherford in the secondary. That's what happens. Those guys are the receivers that are out deep. They're not just out there for the sake of being out there. Their job is to come down field and pick someone off, hit someone, disrupt them, cause them to stumble, whatever, because those guys, you take those guys out of the play, one of the defensive backs, and Matt Devias can do what he just did, and that's run 86 yards to put the Riots up by 15 points.
Mike McConn's kind of a tired pup here, but it looks like he had a good chance to get a breather here.
Huge kick by DeVinny.
Hunter drops the ball on the 10.
Hunter fumbles, picks the ball back up.
He's greeted by half the team.
Guys, is it just me, or does the Riots look electrifying right now?
You know, you talk about a change. Let's go back about a minute ago. Had Terry not dropped that ball, the Red Eddies, they're going to have a first down on the 10-yard line, but he coughs the ball up. A couple plays later, it's an 86-yard swing and another 7-point swing on the scoreboard.
That is exactly it. It's
play.
That's a 14-point swing right there. They're going in for 7 of their own, and we get 7 back. Huge.
The South Poland defense really has a breath of fresh air to them now. They're defending a 2 touchdowns to the Heat now.
Edward Little with the ball, 1st and 10. Riots going one play and scoring from 86 yards. Here's a handoff to the big fullback up the middle. Rusty Rutherford meets him first.
I'll tell you what, he's alone though, ain't he?
As somebody just said, after the first quarter, the first 14 points, we've had a 29-0 run by the Red Riots since the really the beginning of the second quarter.
That's huge, and again, that just typifies, you know, the football player on the South Portland side. I mean, that's just from the coaching staff. You know, Coach Wolfgram, year in, year out, doesn't matter where he's coached. His expectations are very high, and he expects nothing from the best from his players, and they bounce back in a big way. 2nd and 7, Edward Little. Lambert back to pass. Here's the pass over the middle, caught by number 21, Poland, and he is nailed.
He gets leveled.
Rusty, R-squared.
I'll tell you what, that time...
Sears and Rutherford ganging up there. That was a solid hit.
Brandon McCrossan took the shot that time. He thought he could intercept that ball, and he went for it, and that's why that play gained the yardage it did.
R-squared just tattooed him at the 43-yard line. Rusty, whose dad, Howard, finally decided to go to the reunion. Thanks to everyone for sending him the cards and the phone calls and all that kind of thing. Peer pressure. See, peer pressure even works 25 years later. Lambert back to pass, looking to his left, and he throws back to his right to Pullen, who looked a little tentative as he was coming across.
A little courage to come back inside, having a look on. Let's see. Who else do we have over there coming at him?
Oh, he's like, oh, man, I was just here.
I'll tell you what, Edward Little is still gaining ground pretty easily on the Riot defense, but they stick it up when they have to. And in the meantime, Edward Little's running the clock out first.
Edward Little has to score twice here to take the lead. Riots, as just as we heard.
To come even, actually. They'd have to get 2 extra points on 2 touchdowns.
Twins left, Starbird in the slot. Here's a handoff to Terry off the left side, and he's stopped.
We're going to come up with about a 3rd and 3 out of that, 3rd and 2.
Bovo.
3rd and 2, and they're still moving the ball very well. I'm impressed with this Edward Little team. And their problem is that defense just hasn't been able to control a big play offense for South Poland.
Exactly.
3rd and 2, big play. Big play again. You know, now we're 3rd and 2 instead of 2nd and 2. That's exciting. As Dickey checks out of the ball game.
Yeah, he needs a breather. I think these guys, defense have played a long time today. South Poland defense been on the field a lot.
Starbird splits to the left. Lambert, the big quarterback, I formation. Here's a handoff to Hunter off the left side. He's going to be met at the line of scrimmage. Tripped up by Bobo Zine.
Rusty Rutherford was in there to actually fold him over along with Joey Heslop.
I don't think he got it.
I don't think so either.
No, it's going to be 4th down. Bobo Zine tripping him up. And then being completed by Joey Heslop was in on the tackle as well.
I'm surprised here, to be honest with you, Mooch, that they're going to punt.
That was huge defense.
They're running attack. They could pick this up. I'd have the confidence to pick this up.
That's huge defense here by the Riots. And the quarterback, Lambert, back to punt. Watch, guys. He's going to use his left foot. Here it is. And it's an end-over-end kick. No one back. No one back for the Riots. Hopefully that's going to...
No, it's not. Dead ball.
Hopefully that was going to go in the end zone, but he put left back spin on that ball.
That just means Tobias got to run 96 yards instead of 86 yards, right? That's all.
Okay, the last time Riots were in this territory, they went 86 yards in one play, obviously putting Matt way over 100 yards for the day. He'll probably pick up close to 200 again.
Well, this has been an exciting game so far, and South Portland, this is a 29-14 game, but against an Edward Little team that has not given up.
They haven't given up by any means.
They are very much in this game right now.
Yeah, this one, guys, is still far from over. 3:20 left in the half. I like our chances better, though, now.
Yeah, I do, too.
Where that fumble looms big.
It's huge.
That's really coughing up the ball.
Here we go. Twins left. Tobias. Oh, we got movement up front. Hand off to Rutherford up the middle. He's going to bounce off to his left, stay on his feet.
He's like a pinball.
Does stay on his
flag.
feet. That's the right way to call it. He stays on his feet and keeps bouncing off.
He does. He never stops.
Keeping those legs going. They just pick up 1, 2, 3 yards there.
Need to get us some breathing room.
That's 3 big yards down there, though. That's 3 big yards.
Need to get us some breathing room down there because, you know, Tobias is standing in the end zone, you know, along with Rusty as well, as Matt Orlando races back to the huddle.
Yeah.
I like those red lines they got in the end zone. That's pretty cool.
Oh, they're red and white.
Red and white.
Might be significant for some reason.
Again, Twins right. Crossing's in the slot. Deviney split near left. Hand off to Tobias off the left side. He's got some running where he runs over 2 or 3 tacklers.
Yeah, they still got a long way to get a first down, but nice job starting to get themselves away from that end zone. Hard, tough running.
He's so strong, too, Matt Tobias. I mean, very seldom do you see him stop for a loss or driven backwards. He's always moving forward.
You got LeCompte coming out of the game. I don't know if he's favoring his left wrist or see him holding it. It's a little tender down here on the sidelines.
Not a good.
He's got the trainer looking at the left
He's
fingers.
beat up in there pretty good. And
I'd
again,
say it's
Mike
something in either
plays
his
too.
hand or his wrist.
Yeah.
Looks like his hand. Certainly could not afford to lose the efforts of a caliber of a football player at this stage of the season. We got Tobias is split to the far side, and Deviney off the left side. Here's a handoff to McCrossin on the inside to Chris counter, just inside counter. We got movement.
That was going to work, too.
Delay a game. There was a huge hole there.
That was going to work.
You could almost see that happening with LeCompte coming off the field and replacements going in. That play took a while to get underway.
Yeah, I thought everybody rushed to the line. The offensive line, they ran up to center the ball, but just didn't get off.
9 at the 4.
Okay, 3rd down, 9 yards to go after the 5-yard penalty, which is kind of costly right now. Because we did, as you say, Mike, there was a hole there. That counter was getting ready to work. I know it was.
Hey, we got a war going on here. They're patching up Pat Lyons down there. Everybody's getting beat up.
Big ball game. These two teams, I should say, the past 3 times they played, it's been a war. Hand off to Tobias. He's coming on the right side. He's got big Matt Jones in front of him. He got no blockers. He had Matt in front of him, but he had plenty of room to the right side. Could have gotten by those 2 tacklers.
Yeah, he couldn't quite get in. Then you had Tom Hunter. He's got some speed. He was able to just kind of break through untouched. And Matt just couldn't make a turn with him there. So
Edward Little defense.
This is a tough one.
Edward Little defense with the aid of a 5-yard penalty is going to pin the Riots back. Dan Sear will be punting from his end zone, and way back he has to be careful not to step out of the end zone.
Makes that decision to punt even though they were on the 48-yard line. Look real smart here.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
Here's a snap. It's a good snap.
Oh,
it's
he
a
gets
good
off
kick.
Good
it's a good kick.
He's got to get
We
some
need
roll.
to get a bounce here.
Out to the 40.
That's good. We'll take it.
Yeah, it's about a 38-yard kick.
Good kick by junior punter Dan Sears, filling in for the season-ending injury of Matt Ferrani. Does a great job filling in. Gets a kick away.
After swapping punts, the net gains about 9 yards for the Red Eddies. We're going to pick it up here at the 40-yard line. We got 1:04 to go in the 3rd quarter with the Red Riots up 29-14.
That's a good ball game.
The Eddies actually got a little offensive movement here, didn't they?
The good news is, I mean, we only got a minute left here in the 3rd quarter, and we've played between the, well, I don't want to say between the 20s, actually been between the 10s here. But Edward Little starting excellent field position as they've got I formation. Lambert's going to drop straight back to pass. Here comes Joe Heslip. There's the pass in the flat. He goes out of bounds.
He's out on about the 13-yard line. I saw the ref put the flag down or his marker down there. That was a great catch.
It was a good catch.
And again, Lambert is really, the shorter passes that he's throwing, about the 10, 15-yarders, have been right on the button here today. That one was a little bit leading, but nice catch.
That was a good pass. We've got to somehow get pressure on Lambert. Boy,
we haven't done much of that yet.
We haven't. I don't think we've gotten to him, have we?
No sacks.
I mean, we've gotten to him at the end of the pass. or at the end of the play, but we've not really been able to affect his passing as we did Lambert. I mean, as we did Donald last week, or Porter, I should say.
One successful hurry is
First and 10, Edward Little, I formation. We got movement by Starboard on the left side. That's going to back out to a little up 5 more yards.
They're a little determined to shoot themselves.
They are.
You know.
Lambert's still standing there. He's not. Can't quite believe he did that. I think it was him. Was it he that stood up a little bit, or?
No, it was Starboard here, split out the end on the left
Okay,
side.
I can't see that.
Took a
That's
step-
out. That's
took a
too far
step
left of the
forward.
window. I can't even see out that far.
I don't know what was going on there. Couldn't see it.
I'm hogging the center of the booth here. We're getting a new booth, though, next year, right, Al?
We liked
What
it.
Al said. Getting a new booth.
How about a coffee maker?
We'll put in the plea because
And a coffee
they've
maker.
been
We
thinking
need a
about it for
coffee
2
maker,
years.
too.
Coffee maker and a microwave, right?
The lights are on here. Late afternoon. Don't forget to set your clocks back. Here's Lambert. Sloat comes in motion. Skips, hops, jumps. Hand off to Hunter off the left side. Michael Cott grabs him, packages him, tapes him up, puts him down.
I'll tell you, Mike fighting not to give him any amount of yardage that he can as he stood him up and then just yanked on him and tried to pull him backwards.
Big Andy Sloat there comes in motion, skips and hops, and then he leads the tackle off the left side. Mike LeConte just kind of pushes him aside and wraps his arms around Hunter. 30 seconds left. This is probably going to be the last play of the third quarter. Riots leading 29-14, coming back with 29 unanswered points to take the lead against the number 7, very, very tough Edward Little Red Eddies of Auburn.
And they are that. They have moved so effectively offensively. We have been stopping them from scoring points.
We got ends split to both sides. Lambert's going to roll to his right. There's Joey Heslop, and there's Rusty Rutherford. He does get the pass off. That's a great tackle, open field tackle by Ryan McLeod.
Ryan McLeod did a nice job to cut that off, but again, Lambert, I give him all the credit in the world. He has been getting a lot of passes off after initial contact.
Look at Mike LeConte hustle. I mean, he's leading them down. Come on, guys, let's go. That's the quarter.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
does too.
Mr. Hustle, tape left ankle, tape left arm, shirts untucked, dirty. All right.
South Poland defense now back up against the wall again and starting to come up with big plays. And again, how they've stopped Edward Little from scoring points since early in the first quarter is just beyond me because they have really, Edward Little has put a lot of pressure on them.
You know, it's a combination of many things. You know, they've had some fumbles. Penalties have taken them out of their own field position, have hurt them. We're just playing a little bit tighter, a little tougher D.
And again, we've talked many times, bend but don't break philosophy of the defense. Let them have some yardage, but don't let them score.
That was excellent defense down there. I mean, Rusty Rutherford, Joe Heslop putting pressure on the quarterback. He was able to get it off. And Ryan McLeod made an excellent open field tackle.
Palmer had the end zone in his eyes.
Palmer was in the end zone.
And had he got by him, he would have scored probably. But LeConte was in on that, wasn't he? At the
right at the end, yeah.
He was.
But McLeod made a clean takedown.
It was a great hit.
Yeah, McLeod made a clean takedown, and Mike LeConte was right there. Had he not finished it off, Mike LeConte would have.
Folks, we got a great quarter of football coming up here. 29-14, 12 minutes to play. A lot on the line here.
I'm not even looking like we're way ahead right now, to be honest with you. I mean, Edward Little is still
They are. They're capable.
Any minute they can score.
2 or 3 touchdowns. You know. Here we go. 3rd and long. Hand off to Terrian. He's going to get in the end zone easily.
What I tell you, they're just so dangerous.
Terrian running
I hate it
almost untouched. You know, tackled in the end zone, but that's huge.
But Mooch, yeah, I haven't seen the Riot defensive line take charge of that line yet. The Edward Little offensive line is just in control out there, and the Riots are making a lot of good tackles by your backs. So
Okay.
I'm not amazed anyway. I'm not amazed. I expected.
Yeah, because they're a very good football team.
Yes,
we
they
knew
are.
that coming in. And they're playing the Riots tough. The Riots only had 4 touchdowns scored on them all year. Up until this point, Edward Little gets 3 as they're forced to go for 2. We got Starboard split to the right. And here comes Rusty Rutherford. He's down. Squared. Huge. Blitzing all the way. Rusty Rutherford.
He's going to help him out. No, he won't let him help him out. Lambert would not take his hand and help.
That's huge defense by the guy that has alongside Mike LeConte, has just been a hero and a leader defensively all year, putting tremendous pressure on everyone, and just comes up with a big, big play there. You know what, guys? That forces Edward Little to have to score twice.
You got a 2-score game going into this quarter. Big, big play, 29-20. We got an entire quarter of football. This is going to turn into 11 minutes, 55 seconds. We might come down to a shootout. We might come down to who's going to step up here.
Woo! That was exciting, electrifying defense by the Red Riots. You know, they make big plays year in, year out when needed, and that's a big play right there as they stop Edward Little's attempt to get 2 points. Riots still leading 29-20, fourth quarter just underway.
Well, a couple of things now. We have not seen anybody get to Lambert yet today, or at least get to him and then not enable him to make the play.
And he did just then.
And Rusty Rutherford would not be denied that time. He took him down and took him down hard. And Lambert wouldn't accept his hand to help him out.
David brought Goliath down that time, guys.
Did he ever?
Okay. We got a
timeout by Michael.
We got a timeout. You know what? I bet Coach Wolfram.
No, they were unsure.
Coach Wolf, you know what he wants? He wants his sure hands people up front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Onside.
Look out for onside kick. Yeah. And because again, Edward Little's going to have to score twice.
Good. Actually, a good catch by Coach Wolfram.
Good.
Just in case, because Edward Little could try something right now. This would be the perfect time, right?
That's heads up.
And now he's going to tell all his guys. He's probably going to bring his middle group up a little closer and say, I want you up tight, just in case.
I want my all-state guys, you know, the good hands people, to be up front, fall on that ball. And what you have to be careful with, too, is, I mean, a line drive punt. How many times have we seen that bounce off the first guy? Anything can happen here. And you know what? Maybe Edward Little wasn't even thinking onside kick, and now that Coach calls it, they're thinking, hey, good idea. Hey, why didn't we think of that?
Let's try that.
Okay, let's see what happens here. If it is going to be on an onside kick, they're certainly not giving it away. Because usually they'll crowd to one side, unless they'll do that right now. And the kicker is going to kick it all the way, and it's a good boot. He's going to kick it to the wide side of the field. Brandon McCrossin keeps his balance, comes back to the middle of the field. Hold on to the ball. It looks like a scrum. Looked like rugby there for a second, guys.
Good coverage by Edward Little that time. Brandon needed really probably one more block. And then he had all sorts of room on the wall. But by the time he caught the ball, the wall was about 10 yards away from him, and he couldn't quite get there.
Edward Little's defense very, very fired up here as they've stopped the Riots. The last series we didn't get underway, pinned us back deep. Got a little bit better field, actually a lot better field position this time.
They've done well with us two series here in this half. But one of them was an 86-yard touchdown.
What's crucial for us right now is picking up a touchdown would be great, but we got to pick up a couple first downs.
Yes.
Because we got Twins left. We got McLeod and Davini out the left side. Here's the pitch. Great block by Rusty Rutherford. Great block. Matt keeps his feet going. Maybe picks up 2 yards, but good block by Rutherford as the pitch goes to Tobias off the left side.
Palmer with a good open field tackle for Edward Little there, or Matt would have had himself a huge chunk of change.
It doesn't take Matt much to get on track. You know what I'm saying? He gets a little bit of a crack or a little bit of room, and he's usually gone.
Well, he's definitely a premier back. There's no doubt about it. He's got everything. He's got power, speed. He's got good set of eyes. He sees the hole.
High formation, Riot, 2nd and 9. Twins to the right. Hit off to Rutherford, up the left, up the gut. He's got plenty of running room. Oh, he gets hit hard, but he's still going.
He got clobbered and spun to get the first down.
He kept going.
Yeah.
He was
if
ready.
I turn, I'm going to get that first down.
He got up saying, they only knocked me down once, so I can keep running again.
Was that Hunter? I think that was Hunter that hit him.
Yeah, it was Hunter. Yeah. That was Hunter Starboard there that were the defenders.
I'll tell you what, our squid, he just does not give up, is not in his vocabulary, you know? It's not part of his being. He just keeps going. Davini comes to the near side, points to the official, says, how am I doing? I formation. Here's the handoff to Tobias off the left side. Cuts back to the right. Picks up maybe 1 yard. It's 71. He's a big boy.
Yeah, Matt had nowhere to go that time. That time they blocked that hole real effectively, and I think I saw one guy trying to block 3, and it just didn't work.
Frank Vickerson doing a good job up front with all the line. We had the cheerleaders at the beginning of the game, and boy, they were cheering Frank's name. I said, hey, girls, who's your favorite player? I mean, in unison, Frank Vickerson. So, hey, Vickerson, what's up with that?
I'll tell you, to be
in fact, I saw him hanging out with, I was running this morning, I saw him hanging out with the cheerleaders around 12 o'clock. All right? Joe Lamb in the ball game, first time offensively. Power eye left, here's a handoff to McLeod. He goes nowhere.
Poor Ryan McLeod.
trying the inside counter, and that's going nowhere.
79 had to wait until they gave him the ball so he could tackle him. Ever Little not giving this game up at all. I mean, they've scored a touchdown, and they're saying, hey, we're still in this game. Let's move it.
There is so much time left here, guys, in this ball game.
Yeah, talking with your cheerleaders, that was funny. To be a cheerleader, you got to be very energetic. You got to be outgoing. You can't be shy. And we got a whole group of them down there, don't we?
Oh, they're having a blast. Good crowd on hand. Lights are on again. Here's a handoff to Tobias off the right side, and he's not going anywhere.
74, 71. Everybody's got him. Ever Little, that's a tough stand. They did a nice job on that.
Well, we did one thing. You know, we picked up a first down. We ran 3 minutes off the clock. Actually, 2.5 minutes off the clock, which we needed to do. Now we're going to have our own defensive stand, one more defensive stand in order to hold on to this ball game, guys. We got us a ball game.
Well, the offense did, I think, what we need. The offense went out there and got a first down, ran 7 or 8 plays, and that gives the defense a chance to get a little pressure off and relax a little bit.
Dan Sears to punt, standing at his own 15-yard line. Again, a good snap. A great kick this time.
Did he kill that one?
Hunter's calling for a fair catch. I'm surprised.
He had room, didn't he?
I'm surprised that he is as fast as he is.
5 yards there. There was going to play within 5 yards when he caught the ball. Takes it on his 40. Little frustrated with himself.
Yeah, I think so, and I'll tell you what, they've got to think. South Portland has covered those punts so well today, and he's got to think, boy, if I catch this and they hit me and I fumble, could be trouble. So he makes a fair catch call at the 40-yard line.
Well, Edward Little's proven all day that they can move the ball from, doesn't matter where their field position is, they've moved the ball on us. Riot's defense, if we need a stand, it certainly is now. 8:49 left in the ball game. Riot's leading by 9. Lambert drops straight back to pass. He throws it out there. He's got a receiver, but again, fortunately overthrows.
Lambert's having trouble with that touch pass down the sidelines, and he has been at least a good 3 or 4 yards long every time.
Brandon McCrossan on the defense down there in the secondary. Looks like that Pullen had a couple steps on him.
Well, Pullen's got some speed, and so does McCrossan, but these guys, I think they're trying to take them on early and try to shut down them short passes.
2nd and 10, I'd look for, watch out for the screen. Stay at home, linebackers. 8:44 left here in the ball game. Starbird comes to the right side. Matt Orlando is on him, one-on-one, I formation. 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line. Hand off to Palmer off the left side.
Oh, he was tripped
Darian,
up
I should
there
say.
by number 40, Pat Lyons, who
Pat
just
Lyons.
spearheaded right through there along with Bovo.
Pat Lyons trips him up. Here we go. This is where we need to have them at 3rd and long. We're successful at 3rd and long. You know they're going to pass. Coach Zinchuk shouting instructions out there.
They've got I'll tell you what, Edward Little, I'm so impressed. They've got so much speed. This is the best I've seen them play, and they're behind by 9 points still. You know, they've got to be saying to themselves, oh my gosh, what is happening to us?
Clock is running. Just over 8 minutes left in the ball game. 3rd and long. Twins right. Quick snap. Here comes Rusty Rutherford again. Rusty squared. David on Goliath once again. Huge sack. Drives him into the ground.
Did you see what Rusty did, though? He did not bend down and tackle him by the waist. He stood right up and grabbed him around the shoulders.
What is, someone check Lambert's weight. Height and weight. How big is he?
205, I think.
205. Rusty Rutherford at
210.
At 5'1" and 110 pounds. No, he's bigger than that, but I mean, throws him down. Huge defense. Here's Lambert, the left-footed punter.
Oh, boy.
Fly ball. Fly ball. Get away from it. Fly ball to center field. Good bounce. Out of bounds at the 34-yard line. 35. Wow.
Great play.
Just when we need a big play, again on
He has
defense.
stepped up time after time today.
Oh,
On the
that's
2-point
been the key.
conversion,
One
on
big
the 3rd and 9, great play.
Oh my goodness, that was huge. R-squared, you are the man.
They've got to be starting to take the wind
Great
out of this.
job.
Either have a little team somewhere along the line here because,
That was huge.
whoa.
That was huge. He was blitzing all the way. I love it. You know, Zinchuk probably gives him the green light. Rusty, you think you got it, you go. And he was coming. I don't think he got touched, did he?
I think they've decided to get very aggressive on passing, obvious passing situations.
Big Frank Vickerson leads him up. Matt Jones, yellow shirt, hanging out, hand off to Tobias, right up the middle, holding on the football with both hands, picks up maybe 3 yards. Forward progress. Actually, he didn't. No, he had 2. Yeah, he did. He picked up 2.
Sobey over there with a block as he was, again, he had like 2 white shirts over there, and he managed to keep one of them off him. The other one was able to put an arm out and stop him.
Wow. Guys, I'm tired.
Breathe. Breathe.
We have. These
I'll
guys.
tell you, somebody that meets us next week is going to get a team that's really had their lumps today because South Portland and Edward Little, they're playing some hard ball out there.
Because we hang on to win this game. We play the winner of Chevrolet Biddeford right here. Matt Orlando rolling to his right to throw. Good block by Tobias. He holds on to it. Hang on to the ball.
He's going to pick up a couple yards off it.
Matty Orlando holds on to it as he's rolling to his right, looking to pass.
Yeah,
We've got an
guy
injured
down for
Edward Little player down.
Number 74. No, number
34.
34. Yep.
Oh,
That's
that's
Palmer.
Palmer.
He's up and he's okay. He just shook up a little bit.
Those guys have been playing hard all day, guys, both sides of the football. Edward Little has very few reserves.
We have seen South Portland, and you talked earlier about South Portland seeming to run through the playoffs to a certain extent in years past. But I've noticed over the last couple of years, we've seen more and more of our players playing both ways, offense and defense. And that's something that does tire your players out as the season goes on.
Cheerleaders running up and down the track, leading the fans on. Here's the counter. No, it's not. Hand off to Tobias. Rusty Rutherford out there. Matt cuts back to the left.
One stiff arm.
Stiff arm number 11. He's going to run to the end zone. He cuts back. What a great cutback. Woo!
Again. He's taking that ball. That is a 60-yard run.
We got a hold. We got a flag down.
Yeah, we're going to see a hold, yeah. Darian is telling the South Portland crew, don't get too excited. You got a hold back here.
Hey,
Well, that takes that 60-yard run out. That was a the 60 with the 86. I mean,
oh, that's huge.
The right cutbacks, the right
That was-
time. Beautiful piece of running.
That was excellent cutback. Matt, that was just a great job. Good blocking up front. Unfortunately, too good as we got a hold.
We saw a hold here, and it's a shame because Matt made a pretty clean cut behind what looked like a nice block. And they're saying that whoever's doing the blocking must have been holding the guy's shirt or something.
Oh, that was big. That would have done it, guys. That was the nail in the coffin right there.
Yeah, game would have been over.
That would have made it a 15-point game with 5:47 to go.
Oh,
But instead,
man.
we have a 3rd and 15 for first down. Ball on the 30 of the Red Riots' end of the field.
Well, we've gone from excited to deflated.
Yeah. It's funny how the emotions of a person can be switched so quickly. 3rd and 15, Riots, I formation, twins to the right. Hand off to Rutherford up the middle. He's got a little bit of running room. He's going to get about 6 yards.
He goes into a pile of bodies, and then all of a sudden you see the pile start to move.
Yeah, it's true. The whole pile goes forward. The good news is we've picked up a couple first downs. We've run a lot of time off the clock. Edward Little's going to get the ball back with about five minutes left. Their offensive unit will get on the field. Riot's defense playing very tough.
Dan Gill is getting set to punt for the Riots.
Well, I don't think we'll see an attempt at a return here. Probably Edward Little hoping for a short kick. Probably going to stay away from it. Doesn't want to fumble.
I tell you what, Arthur Dickey does a good job on the punt. You know, he's the center. There's a lot of pressure on. The snap is, it's a good.
Nice pickup, though.
What a great kick by Sear. That is huge. That is huge. That's about the best punt I've seen here this year. Dan Sears gets his entire leg into that. He
Takes it
put
on
his
the
whole body
short
into
hop.
it.
Put a little bit of
Is he a
shortstop spin
Did he
into
play
that.
baseball? Yeah, what
Wow.
a pickup. And then
That
nice.
was a good pickup. And you have to be careful with that, too, because there's such a tendency to go all the way down. Your knee touches, the ball's dead right there. I just got ready to say, you know, Arthur Dickey, game week in, week out, makes that snap, and that's a pressure to be able to snap that
huge.
ball,
That's
bend over, snap it back,
And then
through
block.
and then block and run. 4:56 remaining here in the ball game. It's a good one. South Portland leading 29-20. Lambert, the big quarterback, drops back to pass. It's a give and go. He's going to throw it out there. He's got Starbert out there. Little bit of a give and go, a little bit of a hitch, and then up the sideline. Lambert fake pumps, throws it out there, but fortunately he's been long all day.
Well, I'll tell you, Orlando was beat on that by a good 2 steps, and I didn't see any help coming from the safety. He's got to get some help over there to help out because they've got some speed.
Edward Little going for the home run immediately.
And now what
Man.
happens? Does Starbert play defense? Because look how clean his uniform is.
I don't know.
I mean,
But that
all
was
they
a
have
great...
him for is to run 60 yards downfield and catch passes.
Still going back to that run by Matt Tobias. That was a great run.
I know.
Cut back on the end and spun Lambert around. 4:50 left here in the quarter. Lambert's rolling to his left, looking for a receiver.
Maine's all over him there as he was rushing him hard, too.
That Palmer's a rugged boy. Look at him, huh? My goodness, he's strong. But who was on him there in the end, in the flat? Matt Jones with the
Matt Jones, looks like.
with the yellow shirt hanging out.
Oh, yeah, mouthpiece. Lost his mouthpieces. Come on, give me one. I want to play.
Coach Filio pulls a mouthpiece off someone's helmet.
He did, too.
He did. He pulled a mouthpiece off.
You're a freshman. Give
Said,
me
here, yeah. And now Matty's saying, boy, this guy has a weird mouth,
Does
man.
not taste good.
This one doesn't fit that well.
Hey, that he's got coming.
3rd and 10, Edward Little back at their own 20. Here comes Joey Heslip. The pass is thrown out there. Short this time.
Now Poland is all over Lambert now.
It's
They
going to be
really put the pressure
fourth
on him.
down. Let's see, 4:40 to go.
Oh, this is exciting football.
They're going to be giving
Here's
up the
Shannon.
football again.
Riots with the ball.
I can't see him
I mean,
going here
with
for
the
it
defense,
because,
no.
With 4:40 to go, they've got to hope for a fumble or a turnover or something.
4:40. They are
They're going.
punting.
I think they're going for it.
They
No.
are.
They are going for it.
This
They're
is
going
interesting.
for
Well, they get, you know what? 4:40. They got to have 2 scores. They can't give the ball up. This is the ball game right here. Twins right. Lambert rolling to his left, his right, I should say. Here comes a whole host of tacklers. The ball is thrown up there. Picked off by Brandon McCrossin.
What a catch, too!
Great block by Rusty Rutherford. Brandon McCrossin comes to the left side. Still on his feet. He fumbled the ball. And Edward Little gets it back.
Comes up with a football.
4 down. Oh, my gosh.
Wow. Woo! Guys, we
Back
got it
and
all.
forth, up and down the field.
Now that's
Brandon
interception,
McCrossin trying to get an
fumble.
extra couple of yards.
that's an interesting way to get a first down. They got the first down.
You think that was in their playbook?
Huh?
You think that was in their playbook?
Edward Little going for it on 4th and 10, and they get it.
Brandon McCrossin trying to stretch that out and get an extra couple of yards. Then he gets hit. I mean, he got hit hard from the side and lost control of the ball.
I see Brandon's mom there in the stand. She's chewing her thumbnail off there as she's watching Brandon run back.
They just sent Lamb
He
in.
comes off the field, but that's a great play.
Yes, it was.
Great play. Lambert, his dishes it over the middle, knocked down by
Hey,
Rusty Rutherford, wasn't it?
I think it was. Let's see when he gets up.
Yeah, it was Rutherford, 29.
Squared, he got up so high he could have slam dunked it. He was up there,
You
man.
know, that's a great, we've just seen a great amount of plays like that. That's the first time we've seen that. In 8 quarters of football, we had not seen that play.
Oh, my
They
goodness.
were a little full of everything out of their playbook.
When I say,
right now.
when I say 8 quarters, going back to the other game, they've come up, each team has come up with a couple of plays we haven't seen.
Yeah, they do. You know, each team will always put a couple wrinkle plays in when it comes to playoff time. Something you haven't seen all year. Here it is. Twins right. Lambert drops back the pass. He's going to air it out. I can't even talk. It's an out and up to starboard.
I'll tell you what, Lambert is starting to lose a little bit there because
Yeah, he
his
just,
last 3 throws have just fluttered.
I think he's just starting to throw the ball up there. Starboard is he's run out down that line, left and right now.
There's no
all
confidence
afternoon.
in his throw
That,
anymore.
that was a great pick by Brandon McCrossin, man. I mean, he went up there. You know, he got up there, got some height, picked that thing off.
Put his hand down a couple of times. You notice that he's stumbling there, got his hand down.
Kept his balance.
As long as it's not the knee, he's all right.
Did you see that collision that Rusty Rutherford had with that? I don't know if it was
Fullback Palmer,
was it a fullback? I mean, huge collision. And then Brandon got spun around. You know, the crisscross, man. 4:14. Edward Little, 3rd and 10. Again, Lambert throwing on every down. He throws it out there. That's still way overthrown. Actually, it's caught.
He caught that.
He did make the
And
catch.
inbound.
He's at the 49 of South Portland on that.
That was a great catch.
Over the shoulder, Willie
Great
Mays.
catch by Pullen. He's a good receiver.
He's got speed, too, and we had good
We've actually
coverage on
seen him have a little more success with Poulin than he has Starboard.
Yeah, we
down that
have.
left side.
Yeah, he's made a couple of good catches now. That's
Starboard had his man beat 2-3 times, too, but he's just overthrown him.
That's okay. Edward Little's helping us by running the clock out. 4
He went
minutes.
out of bounds that time, though. We got to keep
What
it
do we got the
down.
ball right?
Just
Over
over
on the 50-yard, almost.
Just over midfield. Edward Little, 1st and 10 on a couple of bizarre plays here to give them the ball back. Lambert's going to hand off to Terry, and off the left side, he's got some running room as Joe Heslip is carried by him.
Yeah, Joe Heslett and Rusty Rutherford just comes over and says, hey, let me help you out. Let's put this guy down. Brandon McCrossin steps in with a little bit.
2nd and 5. Edward Little. 3 minutes, 50 seconds left. Clock is running. Riots holding on to a 9-point lead. Winner advances to the semifinals. Riots win. We play at home. Edward Little pulls this out there on the road. Ball at the 45-yard line. We got Twins right. I formation. Lambert drops straight back. We got a rush. It's a screen off the left side. Set up well. Hunter, who's got lots of running room and lots of wheels, he's still on his feet.
I don't know how he got by Lambert now.
Down to the 30-yard line.
By them, look, they weren't like almost like they weren't even standing there.
Would you say this is the best offense, the team that they've faced this year as far as moving the ball consistently?
At least consistently against us, I think.
Yeah, I think Deering and Edward Little have been the
I'm talking about against South Portland.
Although Massabesic obviously very good. Yeah, against South Portland, yeah.
Massabesic didn't score many points against
No,
us.
Massabesic only scored 14 points. They had an electrifying quarterback in Jason Otash Jr., who's back, by the way. So that'll be interesting to see if we meet them. But, yeah, Phil, to answer your question, this has probably been the best offensive display against South Portland all year. They're a good ball team. Edward Little's a good ball team. We knew that when they played a couple weeks ago.
Best mix I've seen, I think, with the run and pass.
What year is Hunter?
Hunter is a junior.
I'll tell you what, he and his brother, they both have run that screen.
No, they got Hunter down as a sophomore.
Is he really?
Yeah,
Sophomore.
He's a good running back, and I'll tell you what, his brother the 2 years that he played at tailback, I think he was maybe a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And you set him up with a screen and give him some running room, and anything can happen. Clock is running. 3:20, Riots leading 29-20, 1st and 10. Edward Little on the 30-yard line of South Portland. Here's the pass. He's throwing it out there. He's got Starbert out there.
Nice job by
Matty Orlando.
Perfect cover.
Excellent coverage by Matt Orlando as he times it. I don't know if he looked like he might have got a hand on it a little bit.
He did. He got a hand on it, and I thought he could have caught it if he wanted to.
I tell you what, Edward Little scores, guys. This is going to be an interesting finish.
Almost dropped one of our cheerleaders down there.
Okay, clock is stopped because of the incompletion. The lights are on. Lights are on here in the booth. I feel like we're doing a night game again. 3:10. Edward Little, Twins right. Lambert rolls. Here comes Rusty Rutherford again. And it's caught by Palmer in the flat. Look at Hunter slowly getting up. He's like, man, that guy has been a thorn. Huh? He's been his nemesis all day.
Well, you know something?
Nuisance.
Rusty Rutherford, when he got his first sack down there, tried to reach down and give him a hand
Did
up.
you see Rusty blitzing?
Oh, yeah, he's coming in from his outside linebacker position. He's just blowing through here.
Lambert would not let
He really is
Rusty
lining
give
up
him a
anywhere he wants to line up. You notice he's even lining up on the line a couple of times, like more like a defensive end. But
Coach is giving him the green light to get
definitely
whatever
playing
slot he
his
wants.
game. There's no doubt about it.
3rd and 8. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Clock is running. Ends are split both ways. Lambert draw. Here comes Rutherford again. Whoa! Fumble!
That may be a fumble.
No, they're calling it incomplete.
We got a roughen the passer. We got a roughen the passer penalty on Rutherford. R. Squared introduced himself to the quarterback a little bit maybe late.
Like I was trying to tell
I
you.
don't know. Did you see it, Greg?
Rutherford got that first sack on him, Mooch. Lambert would not accept his hand to help him, and Rusty has pounded him since then.
There were 2 hits out there by the linebackers. Mike LeConte just all over Palmer.
Yeah. They're talking about
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Was it a hit? Was it a clean hit? I don't know.
They are moving the chains, so it's going to go to the...
That's going to
That's
take
a
the
huge
ball
play.
all the way down.
That's a huge play.
What, to the 15, just over the 15-yard line.
I don't see it.
Or inside the 15-yard line.
That looked awful. That looked clean to me.
Hate to see a close ball game go either way because of a penalty, especially something. I mean, if it's offside, it's offside. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you got 2 teams, adrenaline's flowing. That looked like it was in the flow of the play. What's up with that? But anyway.
23 to go.
29-20, Riots leading. 1st and 10, Edward Little at the 15-yard line. Again, here comes, oh, there's a hold. That was a tackle. That was a tackle. My goodness.
Wow, I don't believe this. Rusty Rutherford was tackled
He
coming
was
to the line.
he was tackled. I'm talking major league hold. That puts a whole definition of holding. number 79 for Edward Little and R squared are having a few exchanges, and I bet they're not saying, how's your mother, you know? I mean, there's some, I'll tell you what, there's some adrenaline and some excitement going on right
When we
now.
started, we said we were going to see a football game. Nobody watching this is going to be disappointed.
2:18, block is stopped. Lambert straight back to pass. He's going to throw it. That's going to go. He's out of bounds. He was definitely out of bounds. Great catch, good throw, great catch, but landed out of bounds.
Matter of fact, that pass was almost right on the button, except that just, you know, he couldn't quite keep his feet in, that's all.
The cross man, McCrossan, saying, man, thank you. One foot, yeah, you only need 1 foot to be in bounds. Wow. You can feel the tension, boys.
And again, we
Good
see
crowd.
EL having some
He actually
success
had
with.
1 foot in bounds, but the one that landed out of bounds dropped first, that's all.
As we go down to the wire, you guys, we're going to be looking for 21, I think. If Edward Little's going to call some of these numbers, because Lambert's connected with him.
Riots in the 6-5 defense, which is man-to-man. Here's a pass again. It's thrown out there.
That has not worked.
Again, good defense.
Good
We got a
defense.
flag down. We got possibly a hold.
Well, that'll make up for the hole we saw earlier on Rusty.
Who are the officials talking to? Don't see any clapping yet.
No, it looks like it's against South Portland.
It's against South Portland. Dead ball foul. Personal foul. What is it?
I don't know.
Let them play, ref.
It's getting rough inside, that's for sure. They really are doing a lot of pushing and shoving down in there. Anything could be happening.
Well, okay, 2 minutes left here.
Let's get back to that play for Orlando. He almost was to the point where he
Personal-
was interfering with the receiver
personal
and he turned
foul.
his head to the ball.
It's going to be fourth down. Fourth down. Here it is.
Third.
Fourth down. Official saying fourth down. It is. 4th and 3. Big play here. Again, Riots have the luxury of being up by 9 points, even though
We got a timeout on the field, guys. Edward Little has called this. Their season really comes down to this play right here.
Just about.
I tell you what, this is where you do realize how crucial extra points are. You know, guys, and
Now, John down there, he's consulting with the coach instead of running out to his team. I think he wants to get something in mind here and get a consensus from his coaches about what they think they ought to try to do or watch for.
well, I think
I'd watch for Therian. Probably on a run.
yeah, you know what? Because everybody in the house is expecting pass here. Okay, you want to look out for a center screen, middle screen is available, and
Exactly what I would watch for.
watch for the screen in the middle, or just a pitch to one of the even Palmer, fullback. He's had some pretty good runs up the middle. It's hard to tell here. This is chess time.
Coach Wolfgram has consulted with the coaches. He's out there. He's saying exactly what he wants to see happen. Sure, anticipating what Gene Keane on the other side is trying to tell his boys. This comes down to a major play.
Okay,
4th down.
Yeah, well,
Now-
South Portland in the driver's seat here because
When-
they are up by 9.
see, when the defense is in a 6-5, with your with your linebackers and your defensive backs up, all 5 playing on one line, everybody has a man. The linebacker has the fullback, the other linebacker has the quarterback, one of the defensive backs has the other running back. Everybody has a guy, and your job is to go with him wherever he goes. No matter what happens, you go with your guy. And here it is, 6-5. 4th and 3. Riots stop here. We run the clock out. What's it going to be? It's going for the long snap, looking for, and it is going to be a run, and the Riots are going to hold.
The Riots, hold and stop him almost dead. And I just thought we'd see a run right there because they have been going the pass so steadily.
Who made the tackle? Ryan McLeod. Again, Ryan McLeod's job was, who was that, Terrian?
Terrian,
Ryan
carrying the ball.
McLeod's job, within a 6-5, you got a man. Wherever he goes, you go with him. And that's exactly what he did by making the stop. Guys, that's the ball game. Riots, all they need to do now is hold on to the ball. I'm not sure how many timeouts Edward Little have, maybe 1, if any.
We'll find out right after the first play because he'll call it.
We've had us a ball game, guys. First down, Red Riots. Hand off to DeBias off the left side. He cuts back to the middle. Almost breaks it.
I'll tell you, that's a little frustration running there because he lost that big long touchdown run. He wanted to make it another one.
I tell you, the best running backs in this, doesn't matter whether it's high school, college, pro, the best running backs are those that can cut back against the grain. Matt DeBias does that well. Sukamis from Deering is probably one of the best I think I've ever seen do that. But Matt, you've noticed, Mike, the past 3 games, he's really used the entire field. You know, he's cutting back and forth, slashing against the grain. That's exciting. He almost broke that.
I think you know that Matt now sees the holes so much clearer than he did maybe last year, and especially the first year, but it's so much clearer because he knows right where he wants to go. He sees every little slot that he can run through.
A lot can happen, obviously. We've seen things happen in a minute 52, you know. And
that's 6 yards, picking up 6 yards first down, major.
That's huge.
Step.
But you know something, shades of the way these two play each other. Big defensive play by South Portland last year in a playoff game. Big defensive play when they played them 2 weeks ago to stop a late drive. And another big defensive play here in the fourth quarter so South Portland can take over the ball with the lead again.
2nd and 4, power eye left.
Rusty Rubman's going to get the ball.
Tobias. The deep back, handoff to Tobias. He's going to hold on to it. His feet again are going to keep going forward. Edward Little cannot stop the clock.
Yeah, they do stop it.
That's got to be their last timeout.
Timeout. Edward Little, third and final timeout.
Matt getting up a little slow. Was that, huh? What'd you say, Mike?
Last timeout.
It's their last timeout. Edward Little cannot stop the clock after this play. 1:43. Guys, we've seen a well-balanced offense by South Portland today. I mean, every component running well. Pass game certainly was huge today. A couple touchdowns as a result of it. Matt Orlando just showing tremendous poise and confidence in throwing the ball to his wide receiver and running backs out of the backfield. That's really, I think, the key to opening up the running game today. And we've needed to have that, especially in the playoff season, guys, in order to advance.
I'll tell you, one of the things you saw today is something different than I think we've seen all year with South Portland. Is the big play. We have not seen a lot of breakaway plays for the 80, 90 yards.
We've seen 3 of them today.
We saw 3 of them. Yeah. Matter of fact, we saw 4. One got called back.
One got called back. Right. Red Riots, 3rd and 3. This would be huge to get a first down here. Here's the pitch to Tobias off the right side. We've got some blocking off that left side. He's not going to get it. And Edward Little's going to get the ball back one time, but they do not have any 9-point plays in football. Thank you.
There has been no quit in this Edward Little team as they are playing us as tough as I've seen a team. By now, most teams would have had their number, and the game would just about be over. Edward Little's just still alive.
I think if I were the Riots, hey, Greg, how much time between plays? 30 seconds? 25 seconds between plays. If I were the Riots, I would run it down, call a timeout, and then kick the ball. Dan Sears again going to be kicking deep in his own end right at the end zone. A good snap is crucial here, and everybody's coming. And here's the kick.
He got it off.
And it's a good kick.
Yeah, it is.
Whoa.
Oh, he caught it, though.
50 seconds left in the ball game. This is just going to be fun to watch.
It is.
Huh? They can't get 9 points here, but it's just going to be fun.
There's no way we're looking to win this game now, even with one big touchdown play.
And Lambert comes out on the field, and he immediately looks in the defense and says, shoot, Rutherford's
still around.
He's still out there.
Look at Lambert.
Look at him. Oh,
beat up.
He's been in a war today. I mean, Edward Little, they have absolutely nothing to hang their heads for.
Rusty Rutherford has wreaked his havoc all over Lambert here this second half.
It's tough as it is for Lambert to get back when he's healthy. Now it's going to be even tougher for him to get back. You'll probably see a couple quick steps, and he'll let go of it. And here everyone comes, and the pass is out there. No, it's caught.
It's a touchdown.
It's a touchdown.
That was an incredible catch.
Took 7 seconds off the clock. Wow, folks.
I'll tell you, game ain't over, folks.
It's not over. I told you this was going to be fun to the end.
You remember that onside kick we were worried about?
Yeah.
We could see one.
We're going to see it now.
I told you a lot of funky things can happen in a minute 52. 43 seconds left. Edward Little striking here. Of course, they're going to kick it. They do not need to go for 2. 29, 26, 43 seconds left in the ball game.
Because they don't even need to get the kick here because they have to have a score. Well, actually, if they get the kick, at least a field goal would win it.
A field goal would win it. Here's a snap. It's a good one. Here's the kick. It's a good kick.
It looks good.
Up. 29, 27.
Wow, 43 seconds to go, fourth quarter. We're going to see. This is a great football game. We're going to see.
Who caught that, by the way?
They're going to put all their hands up front.
Who caught that? Was that Starboard?
That was Starboard, 26, held it in with one
Starboard.
hand. Good defense. Orlando was on him. There was nothing misplayed, really.
Well, Orlando was trying to knock it down, and just one of those things where he took a swipe at it, missed it, and Starboard caught it.
It's the most points that South Portland's had scored against them today. Now we're going to see the good hands people up
They're going to be up front.
Oh, yeah, Absolutely.
You bet.
Well, you touched on it, Mooch. Edward Little, probably one of the best offensive machines we've seen this year.
They've got a very diverse backfield. They've got 3 guys who can run the ball well. Lambert, of course, an excellent quarterback. And, yeah, look, see, they're all over there. I mean, it's onside all the way, okay? I mean, they're
We're not even
even
going to kid about this.
No.
That's right.
There's nothing disguised here. You got Davini up front, Sears up front, Orlando.
No, I'd be moving everybody right up near the front.
Yeah,
Yeah, Orlando's coming in.
Orlando. We should have McCrossin. And see,
I'd be
you got to
right
have a
up
guy. You got to have a guy back deep, obviously.
I'd be right on the 52.
And it's going to be an onside kick, and everybody's over there. Everybody's up there, and Tobias is the lone back. This is funny.
This is great.
This is great. This is a great way to end. The Riots need to have possession of the ball. Here's the kick. And the Riots got it, guys, and that's going to be the ball game.
It's coming. One play now, and we're done.
We've seen it all today. The only thing we haven't seen is field goals, but everything else we've
Matt
seen
Orlando made the cover.
it. Interceptions, fumbles, long touchdown runs, touchdown passes, excellent punts. Tenacious defense by both sides.
Well, you know something? I think Edward Little can look at the scoreboard and say, you know, we had them, we lost them, we almost got them back.
I know, that's the thing. Keeping South Portland down the entire game is pretty tough to do. This reminds me of that Portland game we saw a few years back. You know, the Western Maine final was back and forth. South Portland pulling it out in the end, but
Right.
You know, going down 14 to nothing,
probably
we've
one
seen a
of the best
great
games
team,
I
Red
ever
Riot
saw.
team here. Stick with the ball game. They deserve this. 29-27. It's going to. If Orlando takes a snap, he's going to go down on one knee.
yeah, look for him to
Run the
take a
clock
knee, and he
down.
does, and
There
that's
he
going to be the
goes.
ball game, guys. Yeah, they
One
will.
more
They have to take
snap.
One more snap, I think.
one more snap.
Yeah, probably
Guys,
one more snap.
As the Red Riots, the number 2 Red Riots playing at home in the quarterfinals are going to advance to next week's semifinal. They will take on the winner of Biddeford-Cheverus. We do not know yet, but semifinal will be right back here next week, guys. So, hey, tell everyone you see this week, hey, go to the game.
They're going to run the clock down, probably take the 5-yard penalty, then Matt Orlando will go out and make a snap, the game will be over.
Hey, guys, everyone you see this week, tell them to go to the ball game. Tell them to get here.
Maybe that's going to be it, Mitch. Maybe there's...
Support the Riots. That is the ball game,
It
guys.
is
The
it.
Fisher picks up the ball as time runs out.
What a battle we saw here.
Excellent football game. Everything you want to see, guys. Any final thoughts?
All sorts of final thoughts. South Portland, probably the worst domination I've seen by another team's offensive line today, and yet they dug in when they had to, made the big plays
You know,
when they had to, and
seeing
the
the-
offense came through today big time.
You know, you can't see it. I guess we do have the camera on it just out there. Those guys, you're seeing 2 football teams that really do appreciate what just happened.
They do.
We've just seen a couple hours of football that is worth talking about.
Tremendous respect,
Really.
on both sides of the ball, mutual respect. You know, you see them shaking hands, patting each other. You know, they know they're in a war.
That was a war, is right. That was a war, is right.
That was a war.
Well, we didn't hear any of the other scores, folks. We know Biddeford-Cheverus went overtime.
As we've scheduled the Jets to fly
Yeah,
over,
the Blue Angels are coming across in honor of South Portland's win.
Riots. South Portland, after going down 14-0, scored 29 unanswered points and then hold on as they defeat the Edward Little Red Eddies and move and advance to the semifinals to take on whoever it would be next week.
Whoever.
So, hey, guys, it was a great one.
Good football game.
Good effort to everyone out there. Great job. Rusty Rutherford, you're the man defensively. Everyone did a great job.
Yeah,
So, hey, it's Mooch Davis along with Mike Bryant and Phil Stroud saying we'll see you all next week. Have a great week, everyone.